hello, and welcome to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of this ragtag group of heroes and adventurers.
Hi everybody, I'm Claire. I'm playing Mira, who's a Dragonborn Sorcerer, half red dragon, half silver dragon. Originally was a bit of a politician, and now has joined the adventuring life, probably to a greater extent than she ever expected.
I'm Michael. I'm playing Lockie, a Warforged Artificer. Originally was part of a flying castle, but I've since left and resumed an adventure with my now friends.
Cool. Hey guys, I'm Jared, and I play the character of Jin. He is a level 6 Law Bard and a level 2 Hexblade Warlock. I'm currently an associate and ally of the Tempest Guild, and I'm helping them in their goal of stopping the Queen of Dragons, Tiamat.
Hi, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Lyra, the Moon Druid, who has previously been stuck in a gemstone for the past 600 years, but has since escaped.
Hi guys, I'm Matt, playing Yervith, the sneaky Wood Elf Ranger and Rogue, who, after a tragic incident in the jungle with his previous expedition, has now joined up with this lovely ragtag group of adventurers and is looking to see what happens next.
So thank you everybody who joined us on Monday for the episode 2 of the Avatar: The Last Airbender stream. We have had a blast. Our Airbender Dave couldn't make it last session, so we were joined by one of my friends from school, Haz, who joined us as a Sandbender, which was a really fun variation of the Earthbender to play. So we had a bit of fun heading into the desert, but if you want to know any more, you're going to have to go and check it out on YouTube or on podcasts. You'll have to go listen to it and catch up. But tonight, we're not playing Avatar RPG. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, so we better get into what happened last session. Dungeon Dragon. Dungeon Dragon. Does everyone get it out of their system? I'm gonna give you a count of 3. Get it out of your system right now.
I didn't start this.
I'm good.
It's amazing as the editor knowing which bits are going to be cut as I'm hearing them. It's just magic.
Amazing.
I remember episode 1. I was like, Yeah, exactly. I remember episode 1. I was like, I'm gonna make sure I have like the beep sound effect for any big swears. We want to try and keep it family friendly. And I think in the very first session, Jared opened up with, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And I was like, "Yeah. that's gonna be a lot of work. I'll just
I remember listening to that, and I was like, "Oh, Jared, look at you."
That was. I realized very quickly I'd have to work very hard to beep out everything I needed to beep out. So I just put the explicit tab on the podcast, and that was it. Just dealt with it that way. We better do a recap of last session, because a lot of stuff went down last session. Last session was a pretty big deal. As you know, our lovely heroes arranged around me in this grid formation are members of the Tempest Adventuring Guild, or associates, or casual hires or contractors of the Tempest Adventuring Guild. Actually, we only have one member of the Tempest Adventuring Guild right now, which is Mira. Sorry. Everyone around me is currently a freelancer who happens to be working with Mira, the only surviving member of the Tempest Adventuring Guild, who is
that charisma-based character.
Who's desperately trying to recruit all these new members into the guild to just try and keep it alive.
I'm sure she has contracts ready to sign and fill out, and it sounds like Mira.
It does sound like Mira. And you'll finally have a chance to do that now that you have explored the deep Noonian jungles, having headed deep into the jungles in the middle of this crater, this caldera of an ancient volcano, these frozen isles to the far north. You have indeed tracked down Varum the White, dwarven leader, or sub-leader, I should say, of the Order of the Dragon, a group of ruthless people from all different walks of life, but with a common goal: to bring Tiamat, an evil betrayer god, back from her banishment in the far astral space. You have been able to track down Varum. He had been hiding out in a Yuan-Ti sanctuary, an ancient golden city inhabited by these snake-like humanoids that none of you were too familiar of. Having entered into the golden ziggurat in the center, you discovered very quickly that the Yuan-Ti were actually all that remained of the Circle of the Moon Druid spire. The Circle of the Moon that our good friend Lyra was a part of prior to her being sealed away for a couple of hundred years in a gemstone. The party interacted with a fairly malevolent entity, calling itself Diderus, an undead mummy lord who was very interested in asking and answering lots of questions. Any sane person would have realized fairly quickly that potentially giving this entity what it wants, very bad idea. But not these guys. They spoke to this character for almost a full session, and then for half the next session afterwards.
In the next room.
And the half of the next session afterwards, continued to discuss pretty secretive, private things just on the other side of a door where he was chilling out. So we're going to see the consequences of that at some point in the future, I'm sure. But before we discuss those, the party headed deeper into the ziggurat, managing to locate Varum and Alaram, the old leader of the Circle of the Moon Druids that Lyra had once answered to and once been mentored by, having succumbed fully to the Yuan Ti influence and forms. With a very tense fight, but very clever use of spell work and trickery, the party were able to avoid getting into too much of a confrontation and actually managed to capture both Varum and Alaram right from the throne room, while other members of the Yuan Ti Guard were, shall we say, disabled? Is that the word we want to use for what you guys did, where you stabbed them one by one while they were comatose and then tied some of them up when you realized that what you were doing is...
We only really did to like one or two.
It was just
that's
one.
enough though, isn't it, really? If we...
Yeah, it was just me.
And I'd like to add that Jin actually didn't do any of that.
That's true.
Well, he only killed one, which was initially to wipe them off, and then everyone else pounced on the other one while I was tying up the woman, the Alaram.
Yeah.
So
the party
that was interesting.
I mean, Yervith was
ruthless.
just letting out some repressed anger.
Oh my god, yes.
It's very repressed with Yervith, though. Isn't
Not
it?
repressed, is it? No, it's very much on the surface, I would say.
Yeah,
He wears his heart on his sleeve.
he sure does.
Or someone else's.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Nice. Very well done. Nicely done, Lockie. But yeah, we left last session with both Varum, who is currently in a slightly altered state of consciousness as a result of the actions of one Lyra, and Alaram, both shackled and tied up and being basically hog-tied out of the ziggurat and being removed from the ziggurat as they took a secret tunnel that they managed to locate in the throne room. We jumped straight back into the action. We're going to jump straight back into you guys. You've just exited the ziggurat. You're now standing on the stone steps, having left this secret tunnel out the back of the golden ziggurat. You can see sunlight streaming over the forest. It looks like it is heading into sort of later afternoon towards dusk. Yervith, you know nighttime in the forest, not a good time to be traveling. Not a good time at all. So you probably are feeling the slight spike of anxiety, realizing that your hours of movement through the forest dwindling rapidly.
I also scouted ahead and did that perception check just outside of the...
To look for danger,
I also want to add to everybody, I don't have any third level spell slots, so Lehman's Tiny Hut is no good.
Oh, yeah, good shout.
That is...
Well.
Just going to make a note of that as the Dungeon Master, or just on the
This
back
is
burner.
bad.
Who
In
needs to
that
be
sense.
dropping
Looks
it?
like we have to rely on the ranger.
Ranger. Yeah, this could be
I guess,
fun.
look,
I might have some fun
Look,
with this.
it was either the tiny hut or the hypnotic pattern, and I think I know which
I
one.
think-
I think you chose wisely.
Yeah.
I would argue not even a choice. I think hypnotic pattern was that was game changing. That turned an encounter where I was genuinely starting to think like, oh, okay, not had a TPK on the podcast yet. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen a big reversal of fates like that. Like it's such a flip of how that was going to work. Like I've never seen that before.
That could have been horrifyingly bad.
I'm really happy though too that like I was able to like fool them, like the other Yuan Ti, so they didn't actually go around waking anybody. They just left them. It was perfect. Oh, so good. Anyway, let's go.
Even when they saw that elk, just.
I know.
Yeah.
I do feel bad that I goaded that like one Yuan Ti into like basically just getting pounced on.
I believe you prison shivved her, right? Where you like got her into a corridor and everyone jumped out with little knives and like.
Get
Yeah.
up, boys, I think you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you say get 'em,
Get 'em,
boys?
He did, yeah, he did.
Oh, I
dearie
didn't mean
me.
to kill anyone.
This one needed to die though.
It's only one step away from looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Yeah.
Really, if we're being honest.
At least
If
some
we're really
chaotic good
unpacking
and not lawful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally.
So that's handy.
Well, you were chaotic good. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding. I would never shift a player's character alignment without a conversation with the player characters. So, guys, I'm shifting your alignments. This is the conversation, and no.
Oh, okay. Well, shit.
So yeah, I hand back over to you guys. Varum is still over Lockie's shoulder. I think Lockie, you chucked him over your shoulder, hadn't you? And he's sort of like occasionally wriggling and muttering to himself. Find the mask. Gotta find the mask. It's too much pain. Is what he's sort of muttering again and again. Variations of that phrase. This idea of finding the mask, pain, and muttering about something else he's lost as well, which doesn't sound like the mask because he's saying "Where are they?" rather than "Where is it?" Which is also a bit interesting to you as well. Lyra and Mira, I believe you guys were carrying Alaram between you, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she is shackled, and did you gag her as well?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
she's not gagged.
Double shackled
But
and
she has, yeah. Oh, so you did gag her. Okay.
Yeah, I think
one
of
okay.
Also,
Mid-conversation
Jin,
went like,
Right. Okay. I wasn't sure
But she
about
does have, yeah, so 2 manacles. The DC is really high.
and she's gagged too.
With,
And you've
with
taken
one.
away
I
all
stripped- I
possible spell
basically-
components and
yeah.
yeah.
So she's obviously still clothed. She's not naked. I think that's above and beyond. But
We're
I
not that
did
sort of
take
stream.
anything. No, but I did take spell casting, anything like that. Just anything. I took all her items as well. So there's like a bundle of stuff in my backpack that could be magic items. I have no idea. I'll probably talk with Lockie to see what's actually in the bag.
There was one thing I forgot to tell you when you were frisking her down that you would have seen. To get to her spellcasting focus, which was an amulet around her neck below her shirt, you would have seen that she has a series of intricate tattoos all across her chest that move basically across her chest, abdomen, and then twist around towards the back. And the one as they get towards the back, they become a lot more scale-like, resembling snake scales or dragon scales. But on the front, there are a series of glyphs. In a language that you don't recognize, plastered across her chest, as well as a series of other swirls and symbols down around her body. No other tattoos, just this massive, intricate tattoo across her chest, curling down towards her
Could
back.
it be so that I can't recognize, but could someone
You don't
else maybe in the
recognize.
party?
Possibly, yeah. You don't speak it.
Okay.
I checked really quickly. You don't recognize this language.
Okay. Well, then I would point that out. Would I know that tattoo could be magical in nature?
I would say that. I mean, you've heard of magical tattoos. We've spoken about them before, and they are something you guys can acquire.
Would Jin know though? I guess.
Jin would know. You would. Jin
Okay.
Jin would know about magic tattoos. Yeah, they're not
Okay.
super common, but there would have been 1 or 2 parlors in Palin that would offer those services. There would be 1 or 2 in Oxenfurt easily that would offer those services. So magic tattoos are a thing. For those of you who aren't aware, there was a magical tattoos Kickstarter that I helped fund. So we are using the source book from that because it's fucking awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you guys ever want...
So not the Tasha's magic tattoos, is it?
No, this was a Kickstarter from 9 months ago, 10 months ago that
Wow.
one or
That's
two
gonna be even
one or
more.
two NPCs have had on them.
Hell yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
awesome.
What was that called? Just
I believe it was called Magical Tattoos.
okay.
It's pretty complicated, the name. I'll find a few while I'm looking.
Well, Yervith, realizing that we're losing daylight very quickly, is going to, and realizing that really we've got a very hostile ziggurat full of Yuan Ti that are going to be pretty angry that their queen has been captured.
This is tough.
He's going to be wanting to book it as far away from this area as possible before we can actually
And you did
settle
spend the end of last session identifying possible dangers, so you do know a safe pathway that you can lead the party.
Absolutely.
Michael, for your interest, it was the Tome of Mystical Tattoos.
Awesome.
And for anyone who's interested in checking it out, I believe you can still purchase it from DM's Guild or RPG.net if you want. It is a really cool source book.
okay.
Just a free shout
That's
out.
a good. That's a good question to actually ask the party. How do we want to proceed? Do we want to grill them here, right here, right now? Do we want to actually take them away from the ziggurat. I know that
I think
we
it
have.
might be a little close for a long-term sort of questioning.
Suppose.
Valerian, we don't have time for this. We have to get into the jungle.
we need to move. Yeah, I think we may also want a bit more of a sterile environment, I suppose is the word I'm looking for.
What are you
That may be
planning to do to these people?
That may be
No,
difficult.
I mean, sterile as in free of ingress or free of spine or stuff like that. Not like I'm going to go full Dexter on there.
Just sounded like a very clinical style of interrogation, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to try and dissuade you from that, describing that in detail, because I don't want that on the podcast. I don't want to have to sit through and edit that.
We don't have much daylight.
I'm gonna quickly just say something. So, looking at this Alaram, I think the tattoos, they do have a certain magicalness to them. Potentially, they could be what I've heard of the tattoos that are imbued with magic. So be careful of that. I can't speak the language, but if maybe one of you can have a look and we can see. And also another thing. I have someone waiting in the forest, Marcus. That could be a potential help with us getting these out. I very much would like to bring him along. Me and Lyra know his whereabouts. We directed him to a very safe location, and I bring out that note that I wrote down so long ago, Owen, with the directions to get there.
Yep.
So I sort of say, if we could, on our way through, pick him up. If he's still there, if not, unfortunately, we have to move. Haste, is the sort of the pivotal thing at the moment. But
shall we head towards his location? At least that might be a bit of a safe spot.
Yes, he was on the outskirts of the camp in the jungle, so hopefully we can pass by without interrupting the camp. And then from there on I guess we try to get a distance away and alert the airship.
I would recommend we don't stay too close to the outskirts of the city. I suggest we head into the jungle a little bit. It'll give us a bit of cover, a bit of an advantage against the soon-to-be patrolling Yuan Ti. We can double back and perhaps head to where this location of this friend is.
Circle around.
Yes. But it won't be easy. There are lots of threats, and the pathway I have. Does the path that I've identified? That's heading into the jungle, right?
Yeah. So the path you've identified is heading towards the northeast, and it's not an actual path. It's more animal trails that you have identified, and you think you could use as a path. It's not like a worn path for people to walk.
Yeah,
it's animal tracks,
right.
animal trails.
So to transport these, dare I say, prisoners, how I might have an idea just looking at what's in my inventory, in my backpack.
We should make a move though. Walk and talk.
Well,
Let's
no,
go.
but the thing is, we need to move them. So maybe, and I pull it out like a blanket, put them on the blanket, then maybe use like ropes to secure the ends of each one, so it's easier for us to lift them through.
So you're doing 3 individual blankets or 1 blanket with 3 people on it?
Or, well, I don't know. This is probably more your schmeck, Lockie.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
mechanically minded.
if you put them all together, it's going to end up being quite heavy to carry it.
Lyra, did you have a
Yes.
suggestion?
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Lara?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we kind of have 2 options. Like, option 1 is we quickly find a clearing close enough where the airship can come and quickly pick us up. Or I need the giant eagle form to do that, to do the signal. Or I can turn into the elk again, and I can literally just carry them.
I don't think we should signal for the ship. We will get
Not
shot
yet.
down.
I don't think we should be.
We have to
signaling
get
an
a ways
airship
away.
yet.
In which case, and then she turns into the giant elk and then kneels
Nice.
down to let them load on the prisoners.
Yeah.
That's so much better.
That's right.
Can we?
I just didn't know how much wild shapes you had left.
My last one until a short rest.
Okay.
Well, then your carpet idea is a good one then, Jim, because you can secure it to Lyra much easily. Much more easily.
Quite. Well,
Pipe it
then
down.
I'll just give you some blankets and ropes and other such things, whatever you need, Lockie. That is your forte.
Now-
Yes, I do agree with Yervith. We should be on the move.
Now, Jin, you said you knew where this fellow was.
Yes, I have directions to get to where he is. The only thing is we need to get from here to that destination, which could be a little bit harder. But if we move stealthily enough, I'm sure we can do it. We don't have to travel into the...
Where were you
into the
exactly
camp.
when you drew up these plans? These
So
directions?
East.
that is a question for Owen, yes. So
Yeah,
east.
you were east, just due east.
So where is that in relation to where we are now?
So basically the way to imagine this layout, the ziggurat is the northmost section of the city that extends slightly east and west and then south for quite a distance. So the ziggurat, ziggurat's sort of the central northern feature, and then the city extends a couple of 100 meters south, and
We've
slightly
popped out
east and
the
west.
back of the ziggurat?
The back. So you're at the northernmost end of the city, and the trail that you're tracking, Yervith, the tracks that you found, the animal trails, seem to sort of lead towards the northeast a little bit. So you would have to curve around towards the south to interact with this location that
If
Ginny's
we-
describing.
If we followed the northeast animal tracks, would that sort of at least lead us to east, obviously being northeast, and then we could sort of double back? Would that be...
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could
easier?
easily go northeast for a little bit, then due east, and then southeast, and you'd still be
What
headed. where you
Yervith's
need to go.
basically wanting to do is head deep-ish into the jungle, but then circle back and get closer to the outskirts of the city. So he's not just hugging the perimeter. He's going a little bit deeper.
Absolutely.
Just because he doesn't want to be too close to the city. 'Cause that's-
You can give it a go.
When Jin says stealthy, Lockie's like, okay, and he'll take his armor off and into his backpack.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably handy.
And so currently, Lyra, you've got both Varum and Alaram over your back, don't you?
Mhm.
Cool.
I'm helping.
Are they face down, or they'd have to kind of be face down, wouldn't they? To be
They'd have
bent
to over
correctly.
like a sack.
Yeah, I'm assuming
Yeah.
they're
They're,
draped over.
well, they're rolled up in the carpet, and then so what we've done is folded up into the carpet, and then tied the carpet on both ends, closed, and then use that to then run the rope, or like a little bit like a saddle
Yeah, gotcha.
around Lyra to keep him on there.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, I'm going to revert my form, change from Illyrian. I'm going to look like Alaram.
Okay, just not the
That would be
clothes.
really handy, just in case we come, because that's the big boss woman walking around. Could potentially sway some social interactions. Actually, no, I'll leave her clothes on. I'll leave her decent. Jin's not about that life. I will disguise self to copy her clothes, so I look basically exactly like her.
Yeah. You guys watch as Jin's form shifts and changes as the magic begins working, and he takes on the appearance of Alaram. Bald head, snake-like patterns, very androgynous features, and this very pale green-tinted skin with these dark yellow snake-like eyes.
Oh man.
Cool.
Dressed in elegant
Terrifying.
robes.
Good.
I don't know how she speaks though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We didn't actually really hear her talk.
Could Lyra tell them?
If you could,
You can try and describe it, yeah.
We heard
Give
her
me an
very
idea.
briefly. We did hear what she did sound like very briefly.
And Lyra, you would have noticed her voice sounded quite different from how it sounded when you knew her. Much more
that's a good
hoarse, much
question.
more husky, elongated S's.
when I heard her speak for a short while, could I do maybe a check to try and at least emulate that? I know it's
Yeah. You can give me a performance
perfect.
check.
It's going to be pretty rough.
I'll allow performance.
Wow, it's a
Natural
one.
one for
Oh,
an 8.
Real rough, dude.
Jin,
That is not a
you
good
reckon
roll.
you've got it. You reckon you'll be fine. No one pays attention to the voice. Just wing it. Is what your subconscious tells you. You're like, no, my visual disguise is close enough. I don't need it anymore.
I'm going to practice her voice a little bit and see what other people think around the party.
As
Yeah,
you
not
sort of
even close.
try, yeah. He first off, he's like, "Hello, I am Alaram."
Hello there.
Elongate the S's.
Elongate the S.
Stupid fatty round tea. No, that's not it, is it, precious?
Do that.
Okay. Elongate the S's. That's all I have going for me at the moment.
And up the pitch just a little bit. Hi!
Why?
Talks like this, does she? Really high.
That's enough.
We'll try.
That'll do, Donkey.
My better
that'll
judgment says I should just go for another UNT, but and that one, and I'm pretty sure of myself. My guy's pretty cocky,
Pretty confident.
so he's confident. He's gonna stick with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you guys, you've been sort of stalling around the edges of the jungle for quite a time. You now hear from deep within the ziggurat this echo as it moves up through the secret tunnel before the sound that emerges from the top of the ziggurat. This
Yeah.
Oh,
Perfect.
This is what I was worried about.
that's absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can now hear the sounds of steel and metal clashing from the city.
Oh, we need to go now.
Now.
Let's go.
Yes.
Nice.
But that's interesting. Those ceilings, like that means there's maybe five.
I think that the cult and this is not Mira. I think that the cult and the UNT have starting to blame each other maybe for what's going on.
That's cool. That could be really good for us. Let's see how it transpires.
Who knows? If only someone knew what was happening at all times. If only.
Yeah, it's true.
I just called my boy Diderus up. Yo, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, Lockie's got a direct line to Diderus right now.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking
No, Lockie's fine.
He's
Yeah.
been saying this all day. Like, Diderus, he's like, no?
I don't know anyone called Diderus.
Oh, I don't know.
All day.
Hooterus?
Diderus?
about.
You have to say that.
Tutorus.
New lit Diderus. Alright, let's get out of here. Very nervous.
Yeah, but you lead the way. I'll follow.
Oh, yes. Don't worry about that. Follow me. I'll try to keep you
I'll
as safe as
probably-
possible.
I'll be up the front as well, I reckon, just in case we have any.
I'm in the
potential
middle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, feel free to arrange yourselves on the map, but I've got just the webcams up on the stream, so don't worry too much about that. It's just for my knowledge and the marching order. So basically the plan is to have, I'm guessing, Yervith taking the lead, guiding the pathway. Very, very nice. Lyra close behind is probably the second easiest one to follow Yervith in giant elk form, and also to kind of clear the way for the rest of you guys who aren't so stealthy, followed by Mira, Jin, Lockie, or Mira, Lockie, Jin. Gesundheit.
I think I will go behind Mira.
Yep.
Because if we've got these two at the front and then we've got Jin, you're going to want to take the rear, I presume, because you.
Actually, I'll take the rear just in case.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because I think you got a better perception than me anyway. And then I'll be your meat shield between you and Lyra. And
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yervith, as you are leading the party through this rough jungle terrain, could I get you to please make me a survival check?
Oh, I don't have any bardic inspirations.
Before you roll, is
Oh.
never mind.
Oh.
I was gonna ask if Elk Lyra could help.
Could
but-
assist. Too slow, sorry. Yervith, you with your 11, yeah. So you're
That's right.
doing a pretty good job, but your anxiety about the setting sun and the failing light is starting to impact your ability to think rationally. You're becoming overly cautious, a bit too jumpy at things and steering them around, taking them on a very circuitous route. Any sign of any sort of slightly suspicious, like you see a flower and you go, well, that's pretty close to death bloom. We'll just go 100 meters south and avoid that. So you are being overly cautious, and your route is now starting to take you slightly off track. Rather than following this route more towards the north, you are now heading more towards the east. As this route takes you into deeper jungle, but away from danger. You're hyper alert to danger.
Yeah.
It's
At least
making you.
east. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
It is now taking you slightly more towards the east, but your pace is not very fast.
Mm.
Before too long, without your passives can pick this up. Jin, I know your passive is not too bad, and Lyra in elk.
16.
Yeah, so your Jin's picking this up.
19.
19, exactly. Your passive perceptions are very quickly starting to hear the sound of movement through the undergrowth, movement through the brush, only a couple of 100 meters behind you, as the sound of plants being pushed or cut aside, and the sounds of angry shouts calling out through the dense jungle begin to
Okay.
get closer and closer.
Okay, I'm going to cast 2 things, Owen.
Yep.
I'm going to start doing prestidigitation behind us to clean our tracks.
Yep.
Does that work? Does that function how I think it functions?
Prestidigitation should be able to erase tracks behind you. That would make sense, yeah. Because
So I'm going to start erasing the tracks.
Because it's a 5 foot. What's the size? I think it's a 5 foot cube or something like that you can clean. I would argue that it falls into the cleaning capabilities. Of,
1 cubic foot, it says.
1 cubic foot. Okay, and you're doing that every 6 seconds. Wow. It is slowing you down a little bit, Jin, as you're doing this, going every 6 seconds.
Even if I do it enough for us to have that head start.
Yeah, no, it's definitely having an impact, but it is. You are noticing, even with Yervith's slow pace, you are starting to lag a little bit behind the rest of the party. Okay. Because every 6 seconds you're cleaning 1 cubic foot. So just doing it every so often.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop it, and what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna do minor illusion instead, and I'm gonna cast it like 30 feet, like very far away from us.
Yep.
And I'm gonna make loud rustling and movement through the jungle
cool.
sounds. So it's a lot louder than us. Perfect. And they'll start going off kilter to where we are.
Yeah. For minor illusion, you can be 120 feet away from the site, can't you? Or do you have to be within 30 feet?
It says 30 feet.
30 feet. Okay. So as soon as you move out of that 30 feet, that sound would stop, wouldn't it?
Well, no, the sound itself will actually stay there. I'll quickly display.
Yeah, let's have a quick look. So volume can unabated throughout the duration.
So creating a sound of rustling, like really like heavy rustling, like
you create a sound within the range that lasts for the duration. So I think you do have to be still within the 30 feet. So
I think it's like I can do it at 30 feet, and then even if I walk away from it, because it's not concentration, it's just a duration of 1 minute. It just stays there.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll agree with you on that. I'll argue that you can maintain that sound for a minute as you continue moving on. No, I'll argue.
You can always.
I'm happy to argue.
You can always have a look into it anyway and see if.
No, I think the fact it's not concentration means that I'm willing to allow that. Although it is only a cantrip, it's not a spell slot, is it? Yeah.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
As we get to say a fork or a place with multiple ways to go, and we've chosen one, after that, I kind of lag behind and I'll just spread my fingers and cast Fog Cloud.
Nice.
And so that's a 20-foot radius.
Yeah.
Fog Cloud, that'll last for an hour. It is concentration.
That's okay. No, you guys watch as Mira begins focusing, just pauses for a moment. Jin, you almost bump into Mira as you're busy using prestidigitation to try and clean away the footprints. You don't notice Mira just suddenly stop and begin focusing really intently. Mira, as always, your new necklace begins to glow with elemental energy as you start conjuring this fire and ice magic to produce this fog. And with an explosion, the fog spills out from your hands, surrounding the area in this dense white mist. Yervith, there's this moment where you go, "Oh my god, we've stepped on some like death mist." No, it's okay.
Poison spores.
Yeah. We've stepped on a white spore. No, we're dead. Oh, it's okay. It's just mist. But there's a brief moment of panic as you suddenly go like, and then realize you're actually okay.
I imagine that slightly relaxes you a little bit, knowing that these tracks are being covered. And
yeah.
His allies have got his back. Very good.
And you guys continue on. As you guys continue on and begin moving, after about 5 minutes, only sort of 5 minutes behind you, you hear the sound of confused voices echoing through the jungle. Sound in the jungle is really weird. A lot of the noise is muffled, but some noises really stand out. Metal noises, sounds of metal interacting really stand out. And you do catch occasionally voices sort of drifting through the trees. And you can hear, not words, but the clear sounds of confusion as they encounter this fog cloud. And you guys continue moving on. Your pathway is continuing east. At this point, Yervith, you think this is a pretty good point to start doubling back towards the south to take yourselves back via the city to try and pick up this cultist you've tried to convert. However, I will add, Yervith, that you are now exposing yourselves to even greater risk to head back and double back. It would be safer to just continue on. Just so that you know.
Yeah. You can't leave Marcus to die.
No. I kind of... Oh, God. I just sort of whisper out to the guys. And I say, like, if we double back on ourselves now, we'll be exposing ourselves to patrolling enemies. I suggest we keep continuing deeper into the jungle, and perhaps we could swing ourselves much wider and get towards the city outskirts that way. But going back on such a great angle back into the city, I think we'll be running almost parallel with our pursuers.
Well, I'm not too fussed as long as we look. I feel a bit. What's the word?
Responsible.
Melancholy?
Responsible. I feel a bit responsible for my little ward, I guess. And potentially able to turn his life around and do some good. If we need to take the long way around, so be it. But yes, I still would like to try my best to at least save him.
Okay. Yervith's going to like take that on board and kind of nod a little bit ago. Yes, of course.
Someone else we need to save as well, isn't there? Lyra? The ghost.
I
think
Wait,
Ellie is having internet problems.
You want to go back in there?
No, I can
No,
hear
we can.
Well, the chances of us getting back into the ziggurat
Continue anyway.
are nearly. Like, we're not getting back into the ziggurat to save Ilda. Not unless we decided to come back after all the UNT were ended. But
Yeah,
perhaps
Ellie's-
we're not unless we wait for all this to die down and then try and break back in. I feel
It's far too
awful,
risky.
and I'm probably going to try and come back here. I mean, she's a ghost. She's not going anywhere. She's literally stuck here. So,
True.
I think
Kind of
at
a deal, I
after
guess.
the whole Tiamat thing is all said and done, I think maybe it could be worth, doing a little bit of a road trip, come back here and save our pal Ilda.
Well, there are some
Yes.
druids that might need your help here as well, potentially.
I think that's a wonderful idea, Lyra. I think we should definitely come back here.
And,
Come back for some R&R, some rest and relaxation, Lyra.
if we could get within 80 feet, to a point where I can see Marcus, we can summon him out of his position and into a more secluded area. I can speak with him telepathically.
Just so Owen is aware, basically, rather than just double backing very suddenly, almost running now perpendicular or very close to, I'm assuming, where the enemies are.
Yeah.
I want to take it real gradually, a real rounded sort of
Yeah, I get
approach around, rather than just
Absolutely.
going like that. It's more like this. And
Really
then
circuitous
going straight.
route to get back. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, the disadvantage of that will be obviously that it's not the most quickest.
It's not
approach.
as English majors say, it's not the most quickest.
It's not the most quickest. I'm very English good.
Welcome to Australia, everybody. It's not the most
Yeah.
quickest.
Aw.
Yeah, but that's my plan.
I like it. Plan good. Let's do. So yeah, Yervith, as you, I'm sorry, I'm such an asshole. Yervith, as you lead players around, as you lead the players around the circuitous route, still keeping your eye out for any sort of danger. I need you to roll me a D100, please, Yervith.
Oh, cool.
Percentile dice.
Ooh, random encounters.
As you are spending quite a little bit of time in the jungle. 61.
That's to be expected.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I can work this out. Yeah, we can do this.
That.
As you guys begin heading deeper and deeper, Yervith, there's a few seconds where you feel like you can hear whispering on the edge of your vision, but every time you stop and focus, you can't hear it anymore. It's all gone. So you continue heading forwards, sort of ignoring this sort of strange whispering in the back of your mind. After a while, Jin, you begin to pick it up as well, because your passive's at 19, Jin's yours is 16. Yeah, so Jin, after a few moments, you begin to pick it up as well. This strange... What's yours? Sorry, Lyra?
17.
17. You hear it just before Jin. Yeah, this strange sort of whispering right on the edge of your vision. But again, every time there's a break in the noise, every time there's silence, it's gone. It doesn't continue on every time you stop and try and hear out for it. By the time Jin begins to hear it as well, you almost can hear words calling to you, calling your names, just very quietly in your visions. Yervith, Lyra, just really quiet, almost like the whispering or the rustling of leaves. After a few more moments, Mira, you begin to hear them as well, as does Lockie. And Yervith, they begin to get louder and louder, and it sounds like it's coming from the tree canopy above you.
Can I look to see if I can see anything or
Yeah,
anyone?
perception
in the-
or investigation.
I'll do perception for sure.
This can't be good.
I rolled another 11. Are you serious?
11.
Oh
Wow,
my
that's
God.
two.
Two
Yeah,
twos
but-
in a row.
Yervith, as you look up and try and search the tree, the canopy for any sign of creatures or people, you don't really spot anything. It seems strangely quiet. In fact, there's no creatures at all. No birds, no lizards, no insects.
Oh, that
Trees
strikes
are
me as weird.
Strangely bare. Yeah.
I don't know. I get a very unsettling feeling, and I just. Sort
I
of-
imagine as Yervith starts looking up and I start hearing the whispers, I would probably also look up as well.
Yeah, now that you're stopping and concentrating, the whispers are very quiet once again. They almost drop back to nothing. Did you want to have a bit of a look as well, Jin? Perception or investigation? Actually, you can give you an advantage if you like. I'll allow you to. I'll be nice to you.
Okay, we'll do that then.
Yeah, but you can roll again.
Go on, don't roll a 2 again, please.
No, please.
Could I try and focus and see if they are attempting to alter our cognition roll or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, Lockie, that's a good question. I would say that can fall under insight, nature, or... I say or arcana. Insight, nature, or arcana. Your choice.
I'm gonna roll my perception check anyway.
Yes.
See what I get. That's better.
What was your question, Lyra?
Is this a psychic kind of attack at all? Or
No
not
psychic.
attack, but like psychic in general?
No, it's actual whispering. Actual auditory sensory information.
17.
17, Lockie Arcana. Yervith, 23. Yervith, as you begin focusing back again with Jin sort of standing next to you trying to look, you realize the whispering's not coming from any creature. The tree itself, the leaves have formed an enormous face above you. Branches outlining the brow and the mouth. And you can see the leaves sort of detailing the skin, almost like cells of like skin cells or the skin pockmarks.
Yeah.
As the mouth opens and goes, "Hello. It's been a long time since people entered my glade." And the voice sounds like the creaking of timber, rustling of wind through the leaves.
I immediately sort of stop what I'm doing, and I almost bow in a resonance to this creature, and I say,
Oh, okay.
Master of the Blade, I did not mean to start.
Startle me? No. Curiosity is what I feel.
Of course. We are just passing through.
Passing through. Where from? Where to?
We have come from the city.
Ooh, the face
we-
begins frowning as you say that. Carry on.
We have tried to do our best to liberate the city from the denizens that have taken up residence there, and
The creatures there come into the woods, gnawing, biting, breaking, hack and burning. Once they cared for the trees, but those people are long gone.
Lyra mental link with the tree.
Wish I was a halfway.
I understand your pain. They took from me many of my friends.
Lyra, as you reach out and try to form a mental link, the mind that you try and connect with is just so alien. It's not one mind, but the mind of all the trees in this location linking up, forming a network, a brain composed of the roots. It's too strange. You can hear thoughts moving, but they're so slow and so deliberate, like stone eroding slowly. It's so hard to read and connect. You can try and speak to it if you'd like to.
The only thing that she can speak in right now is giant elk. So in giant elk, she's literally languages. Giant elk is what she got right now.
Wonder if
So
trees
and
speak
she's going to say, I'm not sure if you can understand me in this form, but the people that once were my family and kin, and now they are no longer. They are gone.
So what you guys hear is oh from the elk.
Your beast seems frightened. I will not harm you.
He looks down at Lyra.
I look at Lyra and I go, he won't hurt you, but I don't think he can. You should just relax. I look back up at the tree, and I say, "I understand your pain. These creatures took many of my friends, and well, I do not wish to be here any longer than I must. But we do have a friend that we must rescue from the outskirts of the city. I was hoping to get a bit of distance between the city and circle back to try and find them, but our pursuers are right on our trail, and I do not wish for them to come here and disturb you."
Yervith, you've been very respectful of this character. I would like you to roll me a persuasion check, please.
Of course.
Very, very respectful. The bow at the beginning got you off on the right foot.
Oh man, not the best roll.
No,
9.
that's great.
You've got a bonus that I'm giving you for the respect, but as he sort of looks, the face sort of frowns a bit.
Friend, one who lives in the city. Correct.
I my eyes like dart at Jin. We perhaps guided him away from a dark path. Jin, perhaps?
Yes, he is not following the people that are within the encampment anymore. He has turned a new leaf. And
nice.
Oh,
Nice.
He is
Good tree pun.
good trip on.
and he is on a path of good. So yes,
Sometimes.
a great one. And I also do a bow.
Oh, very nice.
Sometimes the soil is no good. For growth, it must be moved, planted on good solid earth. Your little rabbit, hiding in a tree. Should I bring him here?
That would be, well, if you could do it, if you could leave him unharmed, that would be perfect. A great one.
Yes. Would be
I
excellent.
might be old, but my bow's still soft and supple. Give me but a moment.
From the distance, you hear the sound of creaking as the eyes close and the face recedes from the tree, just leaving normal leaves. There's no face left at all. After a few moments, Yervith. Actually, no, Jin, could you roll me a percentile dice, please? I just want to see
Okay,
how
is that D100?
how Marcus goes with this. D100. I just want to see how Marcus goes with this.
It's a 1.
1.
It doesn't mean it's bad. Because Owen does it, he randomizes it. That's not bad.
I don't know.
Randomized table.
This isn't a random table. This is a percentile dice to see how Marcus deals with this. Natural 1.
Okay.
You hear the sound of a blood-curdling scream, starting off very far away, that gradually gets closer and closer. Like it sounds like it's coming from the sky above you. The face suddenly appears again and goes,
I
I'm going
might
to quickly
have
drop Al
thrown
around, by the
him.
way. I'm going to go back to Lyrian.
"Oh yeah, sure."
I'm going to drop all
It doesn't.
that,
Yeah,
so
that's fine. No,
that'd be
it's
more
all good.
scary.
I would say that by this point, Yervith, you've realised the creature doesn't really see with its eyes because its eyes are made up of leaves when it pushes its face through treetop. But it's not really seeing through eyes. So this scream begins echoing through the forest.
Oh
You
my
hear it
God.
coming from the
Oh,
canopy.
no.
No.
The face
That's
sort of
the
pushes
problem.
itself back through and goes,
I might have pushed him a little far.
Oh no.
I will try to catch him.
and then you hear the scream getting closer and closer and closer, and you watch as out of the earth, this massive wooden hand pushes free of the dirt and reaches up into the sky. With a sudden, bone-wrenching crunch, the scream cuts short, and the hand brings down the broken body of Marcus.
Oh,
Oh dear.
oh no.
Is he dead?
Oh.
Is he unconscious? Is he dead? What's the take?
He, I'm gonna say the broken body of Marcus. for those of you who haven't quite figured out what happened, he tried to fling him
Yeah.
to catch him.
Oh my god.
Lyra mind links with Mira, and then individually with each party member, going, does anyone have a diamond?
No, I don't have a diamond.
Or what are the rest of the requirements?
And what's really brutal is that I Mira, if you've checked your inventory, you'll find that your necklace, your amulet is in there with all of its effects, as well as the breakdown of each gemstone. Originally, I had a diamond on it, but then I changed my mind to fulgurite for lightning, and then I changed my mind again to amethyst, I believe. So you would have had a diamond, but I changed my mind. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
Sorry.
My bad. Sorry.
No,
I'm
I
going
don't-
to ask the tree.
Yes.
That was not anticipated. Would you perchance have any diamonds at all in this forest that you could procure upon us, or even do you have any connections in this jungle that could bring our friend here back to some semblance of life?
He is not moving. Is that a bad sign?
Yes, that is a bad sign, unfortunately.
Surely he is sleeping.
As he lays the body
he's
down
not.
on the ground.
I would say, Master Tree, that this is one without its leaves,
Tree?
about to snap.
I am Greenborough.
No, this one here. His life, his green foliage is no longer.
Then he feeds the forest.
And you watch as roots begin to grow up from the soil and begin wrapping around the body
I
and
will-
dragging it below
I
the
will-
earth.
As he does
What would you
that,
guys
I
like
will
to
sort of go. Yeah, like, I'll go. Nope. Leave that be. Stop that. Per my request, you could attempt to help us. Unfortunately,
I have no diamond. I know not where you would acquire such things.
Lyra, I see your message. I would say you don't even need a medicine check to look at this corpse and know that it is a corpse.
Yeah. Do I hear anything? Did anyone else hear those screams?
I think lots of people had those screams.
I believe I described it as a blood-curdling scream echoing through the forest.
Guys, I'm so sorry, but I think we would need to leave this place where we've just literally marked our location.
I must agree with Mira on this
I'm
one.
so sorry, Jin.
I am sorry, Jin. He seemed like a
There
good fellow.
are more coming. Are we having a party?
No.
I'll just grab
Should
the
I
body
bring
and-
them here?
No.
No,
You could
that's okay.
Send them back to the city.
They're from the city.
Yes, they are from the
Oh,
city.
I will send them away.
That would be most grateful. That would be most grateful.
The face vanishes from the tree, from the foliage once again, sort of pulls back, and the leaves just immediately resume being unanimated once again.
Mentally, guys, with the great tree protecting us, would this be a
This
decent spot to summon the airship, or is this too close to the city still?
How far are we away from the city?
Yeah, how much distance have we put between?
It's easily been sort of half an hour, 45 minutes of you guys moving through this foliage, so a fair bit of distance.
The city's here, right? And we've gone from the top here and we've come around.
I think
We're not
I don't know if we're that. I think we need to get a bit further out before we can summon the airship.
Well then, Jim, do you wish to bring Marcus's body with us?
I don't see what it would do. We can't help him.
Are you guys?
That he can live on with the trees.
Indeed.
What would you guys like to do? You gonna stick around here or bail while Greenborough is away?
Bail.
Bail?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys begin heading off. Before too long.
I'm going to do one thing before we take off, though.
Yes.
He killed someone that was potentially a friend of mine. I'm going to cast... I'm not casting anything. I'm going to get a dagger. I'm going to put an icon into this tree. And I'm going to infuse some of my Eldritch energy into it to place a curse on him.
I'm running away.
wow.
Okay. The second...
I don't even know if I can do that.
The second your dagger touches the tree, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw, please, Jin.
I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
What are you doing?
Okay, so as you see Jin pull out his dagger, so Jin's sort of pausing, looking over Marcus, this dark expression crossing his face, and then he just whips out his dagger and heads over towards the trunk of the tree.
I am going to tackle Jin to the ground.
I'm gonna be a nice dear.
21.
I'm giving you the ability to try and stop him.
Yeah.
Lyra is also going to do that.
I mean,
With
I
the
think
bodies
Lyra
on
will be a
top
bit
of her.
more effective at this than
Like
Yervith.
giant antlers, she is
Yeah.
standing
I got a
in front of this
21.
tree.
Yeah, so Jin, I'm going to give you a
So-
choice here. So you see these guys head towards you. You've got the dagger out. You're heading towards the tree trunk. If you want to dodge them, a dex save of 21 is going to be enough to do it. Do you want to dodge them, or do you kind of get the hint as everyone goes, Jin, no!
Yeah.
Go on, mate. Do it. Fucking do it. Yeah, go on,
I'm going to
mate,
look
do
at
it.
them.
Wait for it.
I'm going to walk off and not
Okay.
talk to them. And put the dagger back in my pack.
Oh.
Yeah. You watch as a tree root that was positioned sort of pulls back into the earth and disappears below the surface.
Jim, I know you do not appreciate our intervention, but that tree literally was about to kill you.
Oh no, I've walked off. I'm not listening.
She's mentally
She's
talking to you. She's
mentally-
giant elk.
Doesn't matter.
You hear
Yeah.
nothing.
You can hear.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You get nothing back.
You guys continue walking on your way. After another, because now at this point, I guess you're just heading due east back to Borskir Bridge, or at least to a clearing near Borskir Bridge, right? That's the plan.
So we can
Yeah.
summon the
airship,
the
yeah.
airship.
Yeah,
Were we
you
heading towards that wreck? Just something I remember.
After
the
we get on
wreck's
the ship,
far to the north.
After we get on the ships. Yeah. Okay, go.
That's so good. So yeah, as you guys continue, the chat's like their first walk away. You're not 100% wrong, chat. It's probably the first time they've not done.
I think Mira will stay back and wait for Jin. Like,
I would too.
Yeah.
I would.
Oh, Jin's
I mean,
walked off in the direction. I'm assuming Jin's just headed due east. He's just headed the direction you guys were originally walking.
I'm
right?
just leaving the jungle now. I'm leaving the ziggurat.
Yeah.
So I'm going like the opposite direction of all that. Technically, it's like where we'd probably be going anyway.
Yeah,
But I've
it's
just
not
walked off.
too far off. Yeah.
I want to, as well, I mean, I probably don't have time for this after this commotion. I was going to leave a message for the tree in Primordial, but...
Like your dagger and carve it into the trunk.
yeah. No. I was going to, I was going to carve it into the soil or something, but I probably won't do that now. Now that Jin's run off, I'd probably... Realizing that Jin is in the
I
jungle
wouldn't be running
on his
off. I'd
own.
just be walking off.
Maybe you
Okay,
could do
well,
smoke signals. Light a fire in the center of the glade, and you could do smoke signals for the tree.
Nope.
Do you want to try that?
Nah, I'm cool. I'm going to run up back to the front of the party.
What about you could break off some branches and arrange them in letters? Do you want to do that?
That's kind of fun. I could do that.
Or you know what you could do? You could dig up some of like the like oil like from the foliage and things like that, and just start spreading it around. Make dust.
Yeah. I could burn like a message into the ground and the tree and everything. You know? Fire dragon.
Do you want to do that?
From
Sure.
a far, from a bit of a distance away, Jin You're not gonna be able to hear this. He's gonna pull out his pan flute. And he's gonna play this like really like sorrowful sort of tune, and he's gonna cast minor illusion to copy it and have it in 3 different alternate places around, so it's like just everywhere.
Oh wow.
It won't be super loud though.
Just to have a bit of music around you. Yeah.
It's more,
you guys
maybe like he's coping with it in that way, but also maybe like a send-off.
Yeah.
Because he can't bring the body.
Well, now that this is turning into a bit of a send-off, I think I will assist in any way that we can for the Marcus and yeah.
Yes, you pull out your dagger, start carving into the tree.
No.
You know what we could do is leave a little can. You know.
Oh yeah.
You've got time for that.
Yeah, we don't. Okay, let's go.
You guys continue heading east. After another hour, 2 hours walking through the jungle with Yervith keeping tabs on where you're going and steering you clear of danger, you come to a small stream which breaks up the dense foliage, opening up an area of low ferns and lush undergrowth, but no tree canopy. This does look to be a fairly large clearing, 30, 40 meters. It is, yeah. By this point, it is now getting to nighttime, and Yervith, your anxiety is growing as the sunlight sort of drops behind the mountains below. As you're getting the last beams of light heading over the top of these mountains, as you are now heading headlong into nighttime, out of dusk.
As soon as we hit that clearing, I just turn around and I say, I think this is as good as we're gonna get. If you want to call on that airship, I think now's the time.
I think that's probably a good idea.
2 things. One is I have 2 solutions. Number 1 is we need to rest for about an hour in order for me to turn into a giant eagle and summon the airship.
Yep.
Assuming they can also see it. What was the signal, by the way? Was it the giant eagle or was it a spell?
Eagle. It was the giant eagle.
It was the giant eagle.
If you're worried about nightfall, dear, I do have a solution for you. I can make you light up.
Wonderful.
Well,
which then brings me to number 2, which is
okay.
before I turn into a giant eagle and I take the rest before I can turn into the giant eagle, I can do hallucinatory terrain to mask ourselves.
That would be useful, but I should caution you before lighting up like a very bright bird in the sky.
Well, the thing is, it has to be a signal.
How should we try and make our way back to
the ship needs to see it.
Should we try and make our way back to
the ship is going to see you, and all of the enemies we just evaded are going to see you.
Yes, I know, but hopefully the ship will get to us before they do.
Well, how long will it take?
I know. They said they were going to be nearby.
Otherwise, we spend the night in the jungle.
I can still do the hallucinatory terrain thing, so...
I think that would be wiser than lighting her up.
How long does that spell last for, Lyra?
10 minutes.
Oh.
Oh, wait, no. 24 hours. 24 hours. It takes 10 minutes. And it'll last us 24 hours, so...
Could you make it that near the clearing where it comes out, possibly make it seem like it's unpassable? Perhaps a rock slide or some other large...
Absolutely. Perhaps a few of those carnivorous plants.
I'm not sure if they'll be deterred by that specifically. They
live in the jungle.
We need something more impossible.
Yeah. Well, the thing is how sure are we that we're going to be okay for the whole night? I mean, this is your.
I've survived in the jungle for months. Easy.
Every time in your rope trick hole.
for an hour though, rope trick is only.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
Well, you're also trained in this. I'm very far out of my depth when it comes to surviving in a jungle.
I can tell you that the easiest thing to do is probably to stay off the ground. We can secure ourselves in the trees. You can set up there, and that should deter. Well, that should evade. We should be able to evade most of the ground predators.
And I assume the hallucinatory terrain will also affect the creatures here.
I guess.
Except that they won't be able to see us.
Yeah.
Or smell us, or hear us. I'll mimic the sound of the forest.
Okay, I trust you, Lyra. You have a good connection with the earth and the jungle and the forest, so
Then let's get up in the trees and get ourselves situated and safe, and I'll hide us
Okay.
until morning comes.
I think we should still sleep in shifts.
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely. I
Probably
will
set up
sleep.
some hammocks up there to be
Yes.
quite comfortable. Yes. Excellent.
How are we gonna get these lot up there, by the way? Are we gonna leave them by the base of the tree? Are we gonna haul them up with ropes and just kind of
Well,
spider
I have in myself a walking pulley system, so I think we could probably fashion
Oh, Lockie. How convenient.
Won't be too. I just
For
have to
just
wrap it.
such an occasion. Wow.
For just such an occasion, absolutely. It won't be too
as-
dark, too difficult. I'll wrap around what would be considered a spleen, and it's actually quite. It's got some good traction, so I'll be able to a bit like a snapper block.
As you guys are talking, these
Snap
four
block.
pittons and a climber's kit will just sort of being thrown in the sort of center views you're talking.
That
Jin will
is
just sort of keep
great idea.
throwing daggers at the ground.
Jin, my range is 300 feet. If you stay within that, then you will also be contained within the hallucinatory terrain.
Just sort of nods.
And then I think, like, with that... Oh, sorry, Mira, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Jin, you can't save everyone. And she gets this very haunted look. Remembering what Dave, Moxie said in the tomb. That her friend.
Yes, just use the pittons and the climber's kit. I'll venture up as well. And he just sort of leaves it at that.
So my question is, who's taking first watch?
Just a bit somber.
Yeah.
I think Lyra will.
Yeah, Lyra. As you come out of your elk form to take watch, I'm assuming, or do you want to stay in elk form for your watch?
No, she's got to drop out form and
To do a
do
hallucinatory terrain. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, so you'll cast hallucinatory terrain first. What are you changing it to look like?
So everyone's situated up in the trees. The hammocks are set up. Everyone's all comfy. Alaram and the other person is hanging. I'm assuming by
Baron.
their ropes, like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
Not upside down.
Like Spider-Man.
and
Like
once she's
Spider-Man.
sure that they're all settled and safe, she's going to duplicate the exact forest, not a leaf out of place, and override any sounds that the party might make with just sounds of the forest.
Yeah.
Any lights that we might make with just the dark ambience of the moon reflecting off the leaves.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so that if
Fantastic.
anyone, that even knew this place like the back of their hand, if they were to come by it, they wouldn't know that anything was different.
Great use of
And
hallucinatory
it
terrain.
extends all the way out, so that even if she's on the ground and she's, having to do shit, still, it's that 300 feet.
Yeah, really good use of that spell.
And it's
Absolutely
24 hours.
Also, can I say, because I don't technically need to sleep, can I stay up and give whoever's doing watch advantage?
So
perhaps?
you have to rest doing only light activity. Is that correct, Lockie?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Because you've got
Just double check.
sentries.
Like
rest
4
as
hours,
well.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
But
think you do
he's
have to.
conscious at least.
Yeah.
I was gonna have my long rest. I can just meditate for 4 hours and be up and going. So I would do something similar.
You both can sort of have your
Yeah.
4 hours in turns.
Yep,
Mm.
Spend at least
Yep.
6 hours inactive, motionless state.
6
Okay,
hours.
there you go.
Okay.
Rather than
Yeah.
sleeping. I appear inert, but doesn't render me unconscious. Okay, I can see and hear as normal.
I'd
So I
say.
guess I get my passive.
Yeah, you definitely get your passive. I was gonna say it's hard to sort of actively assist with perception checks when you have to be like.
Like
Yeah.
power mode.
For podcast listeners, I just stood very still. So Lucky. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So Lyra, you're up first. Would you like to roll me a perception check or investigation? Your choice.
Love to.
Actually, I imagine his sentry's rest would have like a very slow, like ticking sound, like a grandfather clock.
Sure. Yeah, very calming. And Lyra now has to concentrate on another element of sound to remove with the hallucinatory terrain. 15 Lyra. Pretty much only 45, 50 minutes into your watch, a group of U1T begin moving through the area, only a couple of 100 meters away from you. They're sort of like poking through, looking around, and then they head further south, not coming too close to you guys at all. As they just move through the jungle, but unable to see through your hallucinatory terrain. Lyra, your watch concludes with no other real things of interest occurring. Alaram is awake, and is glaring at you whenever her like rope twists her and turns her around so that she can see you. Because I assume she's like tied up, so she's like slowly rotating every so often in the wind.
If Lyra catches her eye, she just flips her off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time you do that, Lyra, the expression darkens again and again.
Lyra just an evil grin, like just you made your bed, now you're going to lie in it.
Or hang in it.
Or hang it.
Very nice. And your watch concludes. Who would like to take the next watch? Lockie, Yervith?
Yeah, okay.
Oh no, I didn't mute the mic. I was too slow. Sorry, I'll cut that out. Apologies, everybody. I didn't mean to sneeze in your faces. But Yervith, yeah. So you're going to take the next watch, Yervith. Would you like to roll me a perception check? Lyra, you head back to bed.
What is happening?
Are you cursed? What's going on?
I think I
man?
might be. I don't know what's going
No.
on.
11.
Man,
Yervith, as you're looking at, you're still sort of a little bit, I would say, probably a bit distracted by what you've just witnessed and what's occurred. You came very close to losing another group of friends, another team, in the ziggurat, and I would say that probably you're feeling those emotions stirring once again, that fear, that anger, and a sense of guilt as well. That survivor's guilt that still haunts you from the loss of your team. And so that your sort of mind keeps going over that again and again. Like, we got out of this one, but only just like, well, how will we get out of the next one? Like, how will we get forward?
I'd like to add that also, like, the incident with Marcus has probably exacerbated those feelings quite significantly. Seeing Jin has like reminded himself of how he felt, except much more intense. Well, I mean, exactly that sort of feeling.
Absolutely.
Oh man, it's like sort of replaying a little bit of your
Well,
okay.
We'll see broken bodies in the jungle floor.
Yeah.
And just, bring it all back.
So Yervith, you are unfortunately a bit distracted. Luckily, as you're focusing and looking through and trying your best to stay focused on the task at hand, to look out and pay attention to the jungle, you don't really notice any danger come close. But luckily, no danger does present itself, and your watch finishes without too much incident. Lockie, did you want to take the last watch?
Sure.
Fantastic. Could you please
I'm
roll me?
essentially awake now, I would assume, though. Maybe not.
If you slept through Lyra's, you would have meditated through Lyra. So you're still awake, so you can.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Fuck.
Yes.
Can I also?
Lockie, you can assist.
You
were. Yeah, Lockie rolled just before, but I know where you were going with that. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, Lockie, you may roll with advantage.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm a nice DM.
Lockie.
No.
That's even worse. That's even worse.
Oh man. For podcast listeners, the reason all the players are upset is because Lockie rolled an 8 and then a 6 for his perception. We'll take the 8.
So what's happened is he's supposed to be watching and scanning and looking for all these things, but he keeps getting lost in the slow rhythm of Lyra's friend just rotating, and he ends up just sort of counting the rotations.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
So you guys, it's only at the very last moment that you realize an enormous python has slithered almost underneath where you guys are sleeping, tasting the air very slowly as it moves about. This massive snake with these very strange striated colorations and patterns underneath. Yes, Lyra.
It shouldn't be able to smell us either.
It's all good. I know. Trust me. Trust me. As it's tasting
probably the only
air
thing that saved this.
And begins moving through underneath your campsite. That does not interact with you guys. I was just building the tension by describing it as coming really close.
Scaring the shit out of me, why don't you?
Tension's good, roof.
That's the plan. That's if I'm able to. So I have an aside story. I discovered something new about myself. I really like to scare people. Obviously Halloween was only a couple of nights ago, and I just got back from my camping trip, and I have a giant inflatable T-Rex costume. Why I have that giant inflatable T-Rex costume is another story, a very long one, which I'm not willing to tell tonight. But I do have a giant inflatable T-Rex costume. In fact, I have 2. And there were lots of children out about asking for candy. So I got in my giant T-Rex costume, hid around the side of my house, and ran out and scared them because I'm an asshole. It was a really disturbingly fun time. And I learned something new about myself, which is I like to terrify people.
Yeah.
It's very in the Halloween
Halloween is the
vibe,
time for it. Halloween's the time for it.
If you did this like every day, maybe then there's definitely a problem.
I know it's trick or
At least
treat,
it's
and I did
Halloween.
trick, but I did then offer treat as a reward for like braving the team. But I have to say, it's not a very realistic looking dinosaur. I bought it on eBay for $30.
Could you like spew lollies out of your
That's
mouth?
what I was
So I
thinking.
had a bowl,
so
and as
cool.
they approached the bowl, I'd charge and eat the bowl, and I'd be like grabbing it in through the mouth with my hand and then spitting it at them. That was good. Sorry, just a quick aside story. I thought you'd enjoy that. The snake moves past, not interacting with any of you. Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to scare the shit out of you guys for some fun. And to show off how good hallucinatory terrain was. Like, if you hadn't had that spell active, that could have been a real disaster.
Oh,
I wanted to give you that
Huge.
satisfaction and reward that you'd done a good job.
Yeah, that's really good.
Mostly I wanted to scare
Very
you. So the snake moves on. As dawn approaches, the first sign is the change in birdsong. Overnight, you're hearing the cries of owls, the screeching of bats, and the sound of movement through the underbrush, the occasional cry of a screech owl. But as dawn breaks, caws and cries of various parrots and macaws begin to fill the air as this jungle comes alive with the sound of birdsong, waking you all up at the actual crack of dawn as the first rays of light split over the top of the mountain caldera surrounding this jungle. The forest erupts in a cacophony of noise. Yervith, you're a bit more used to this, having slept through it for the last sort of month or so, but the rest of you, this is a bit of a surprise. As the noise crescendos around you and you are all sort of rudely awoken. But it is dawn. You have made it through the night without being discovered. And you guys know that this area is a clearing, but to everyone else who's looking in, this looks like a dense jungle.
Jin,
Cool.
I think you should see the first sunrise. It was an old druid custom when you lose a friend. The first sunrise is a sign of new life and hope. And with that, she turns into a giant eagle and goes to pick Jin up and then to go up and do the signal. But
Oh
also
my
to show
God.
Jin the sunrise.
Damn!
You guys watch as Lyra's form, feathers just explode outwards as her form takes on that of a giant eagle. With a flap of her wings, she darts towards you, Jin, with her claws
I'm
outstretched.
going to do this more funny.
Yeah.
I'm only just getting out of bed.
Yeah.
As like this giant eagle just comes and picks me up. I just sort of like scramble for a little bit, like just sort of like getting adjusted to what's actually happening. Because I was caught unawares. I'm just going to say that because I think it's canon that Jin loves to sleep.
Yeah.
Because even in that fight, I was still trying to sleep, casting Eldritch Blast. So I just sort of, like, I'm just sort of grumbling, and I'm like,
It's funny because like Lyra says that, and I'm already kind of like sitting along the riverbank, like embracing the sun, like as I've done like multiple times. And I'm like, oh yes, excellent. Like I'll have a friend to join me, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what? And then he's like flying up into the air. Oh!
As these powerful wing beats like push forwards, and the gust of wind sort of sends you face first into the stream.
You'll probably hear like what's going? Oh, okay. Yep. This is
Goodbye,
happening.
friends.
I sort of yell, hi, Yervith. As I see him like just scrambling. And then I will sort of accept it. And I did sort of hear what she had said as she was like turning into an eagle. So then when I sort of wake to, I will soak in the sunrise as we saw through the air. As I swim more awake, I'm going to pull out my pan flute and play more of a...
Jin, as you go to play the pan flute with the wind rushing through, you find it very hard to get air into the pan flute.
I will bring it out. I've realized the difficulty. I put it away.
You go like...
I don't even know what else I have.
if you held out at the right angle, it would actually.
Yeah, you'd catch it.
Yeah, you could
It's
just.
true. That's so true. I'll bring out my loot there, I think.
Yeah.
And then I'll play.
And she'll
like
reposition him up onto her back so that he has arms.
Oh, that's better.
I'll
and then
allow
I'll
that.
play I'll play more of a. It's still got a little bit of sorrow in there, but it's more like the hope of a new day. That just has that vibe to it.
As Lyra like reaches the zenith of her arc, she then flicks you up off and lets go. And for a few seconds you're falling as Lyra does a loop-de-loop and comes around and catches you on her back so that you can play the lute. But there's a brief moment of like, okay, I'm dead
This is
now.
fun.
That's how it ends.
Yes,
So this
I
is how it
brought
ends.
you to join your friend.
I die just like Marcus did.
Oh my god. It's okay, I do have featherfall tokens.
You see underneath you a giant wooden hand comes up ready to catch you, and then goes
Only
back
you
into the
know,
trees.
Jared, you give the featherfall token to your boy Marcus.
Oh yeah, should have. Oh man, you killed him, Jared. No.
Oh, he was already dead.
No, we're kidding.
Yeah, we're kidding.
Yeah, you should have had the
Wait, that
foresight.
featherfall token could have helped.
You should have known that 6 sessions after meeting this guy, he'd need a featherfall token because a tree flung him high into the air. You should have known that. That's on you. That's on you, mate, not on me. No, there's nothing you could have done.
And then you roll on the percentile.
I had just for behind the scenes, I had decided that 25 and under, he was going to take some serious damage. Between 25 and 50 was going to be very mild damage. Over 50%, no damage. But between 50 and 75, he was going to be absolutely terrified out of his wits and be not very much used to you. 75 and over, completely fine. Natural 1 on 100 D100, that's got to be special.
Yeah.
That's so
Sorry.
annoying.
And unfortunately, the first thing that popped in my head was like, Marcus, pancake. Marcus, pancake. Sorry. After a
Marcus
few,
Pancake Aurelius.
after a few powerful wing beats, Lyra brings you up into the sunlight and away from the trees. It only takes a few minutes of flying before you see an air of decency, your airship hovering in place above the jungle, just moored near one of the mountainous rocky areas. On the deck of the ship, Jin, you can see, and Lyra, you can see as well. You can see Leosin is on the deck of the ship, moving around, attending to sort of various tasks around the ship as Grisha, the half-orc companion that you have on the ship, seems to be tightening up a number of ropes. You can see no one else on the deck of the ship, just these two at this point. And as you fly over, Leosin very quickly spots the giant eagle, pulls out a mirror and begins flashing a quick light to show you that he has seen you, puts the light away, and the airship begins turning as the sails the sails push out from the sides and the airship begins flying towards where you guys are, Lyra. And it's a very quick and easy job to guide the airship down. As the airship descends towards the jungle floor, before long, Mira, Lockie, Yervith, you can see this massive airship begin descending from the skies. Yervith, this is not the first time you've seen an airship, but this airship is it's slightly different to the ones you've been on before. The sails are on the sides as opposed to the center and the front. And you can see it has a number of powerful engines built into the back that seem to be propelling it forwards with some sort of like pulses of force-like energy out the back.
Is that unusual? Do airships?
Most of them have the normal sails in the front. Yeah, they
But
don't
the
have the
engines
sides.
are a bit of a.
There's a real mix of engines. A lot of them use propellers, and this one does have propellers as well. But the force-powered engines, the ones that have these boosters at the back, they're more for slightly more battle-ready ships, whereas you've been on expeditionary forces, cargo ships, which don't really have those engines. It's a lot of propellers and a lot of acclivity rings, these massive sections of metal underneath the ship that provide lift and thrust, basically, that allow the ship to ignore gravity, essentially. Well, not ignore, but help manage the gravitational forces, the acclivity rings. So yeah, the ship begins descending towards you guys, and when it gets sort of about 10-15 meters, the base of the ship gets 10-15 meters off the forest floor, a rope drops and thuds into the earth in front of you, and a friendly face, the face of Leosin, your half-elf helmsman and steward of the ship, leans over and goes, "Well, are you going to stand there or going to climb on board?"
You look the worse for wear. Oh, you've picked up another stray, I see. Looks towards Yervith.
Oh,
I think Lyra's
Hello
going
there.
to scoot down and pick up Alaram and the lady whose name I have now forgotten, and just dump them unceremoniously on the deck.
Ah,
And then
3
sit
more
on them.
strays. I'm assuming one of these is Varum in that case then.
yeah.
These 2 are prisoners, Leosin. To the brig with them. If
How
I
you-
would do it myself, except I don't fit below deck.
How are
right
you
now.
going to get them on board the ship? Are we going to carry them up the rope?
She's flown them up and just.
Oh, you've flown them up. You just, as you flap, just dump them on the deck of the ship. He sort of looks towards you and goes,
Yeah, right. Grisha, if you could carry them below deck, please, and chuck them in the brig, that would be fantastic. Thank you. Oh, yeah, all right, sure. Get right on it, sir.
as Grisha begins moving up. Yervith, for your benefit, as you climb up the rope and emerge on deck, I'll bring you guys across to the deck map, and I'll
I
describe
would
the
like
ship
to.
to you.
I'd just probably say, like, before I jump onto, like, grab onto the rope and climb,
Yeah, yeah.
I take one last look at the jungle and just reflect on my time and everything that's gone down, and I kind of there's like a little bit of remorse and a bit of sadness, just as I'm sort of again that feeling of survivor's guilt, and that I'm finally getting out. It's kind of weird. Like I've been in survival mode for so long, and I kind of like sort of don't grab onto the rope right away. Probably everyone else is climbing up, and like I'm probably one of the last to climb up on the rope. But eventually, I sort of snap back to it, remembering the words that my deceased captain told me, and I say a couple of words. I just have to say until we meet again.
As Lockie passes by, as he's climbing up, we go, "Don't worry, you can always come back." And then,
Yervith's like, no.
No. He's like, I
Um,
say, I don't know if I'll return to this jungle anytime soon. But
oh, not soon, but it'll be here waiting for you.
yes,
I'm going to, if possible, follow Grisha as well.
Yeah. Lockie, you sort of head past Leos and he goes, "Hi, Lockie," and you just sort of walk past him.
Hello, Leosin.
Oh, hey. You've got a bit of. He reaches up and pulls a section of vine off your back and throws it overboard and goes,
Ow! Thank you.
Sorry. Was that attached to you?
No, I just said it. I don't know why.
Right, fair enough. How's the jungle? You're all looking very dirty and tattered. I'm assuming you'll want to have a shower at some point.
I need a nice oil bath. I'm just going to follow Grisha. If
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, probably
Good
best
to
to keep
see
an
you.
eye on her.
to awkwardly shuffle.
As Lockie does quickly walk away,
Yeah.
Jin will come up to Lockie and go, whenever you get a chance, we have a few things I'd like to go over, Lockie. First things first, the contents of this bag. I'm sure yourself and maybe one of our more magical friends on the ship can help us identify some of the items.
Sure.
And also, and I sort of lean in and hush tones, there's still the matter of the loaded dice that I'd love to talk about.
Oh, I have a pair that I've been working on. I think you're definitely going to like them.
Perfect. I need a distraction when we get back to city.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. And yes, I'll thank you for the bag. I'll look over it with Lyra. She's got to shed some light where I cannot.
I sort of nod, and I'll leave you to follow Grisha.
Yeah, Lockie, you head below deck. Grisha takes you down into the second level of the ship and towards the prow, where the makeshift jail has been set up, just beyond the teleportation circle. As she unceremoniously just yeets these two bodies, she's carrying one on each shoulder, just yeets them into the cell, and slams
be
the.
gentle.
What? Do you care about these pieces of shit?
No, I was trying the sarcasm thing. I've been told that it's sometimes humorous.
Right, sarcasm. Yeah. Look, you could do a bit of work. Let's be honest here. It's not your best subroutine.
No, absolutely not. My mind. Actually, would you like to hear about my best subroutine? No.
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
I'll save that for another time.
Yeah.
Preferably for when I finish my employment on the ship.
Wow.
whoa.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't want to go over your head, my dear.
She sort of like stands up next to you and goes,
I'm pretty sure I'm taller than you. You're not looking over my head.
and then sort of turns and walks away, not really understanding what you've just said.
That was frustratingly literal.
Now you know how it feels.
It's the opposite ends. It's either super intelligent take everything literally, or just not intelligent take everything literally. In the middle. Can Mira just kind of look at Lyra while this is happening once she's maybe turned back into her form?
Oh yeah, I'll let you know when she's back in her elven Kalashtar form.
But before
Yes.
I move on, I just wanted to ask one thing.
Yes.
The manacles that are on the druid do stop her from casting. Is there any like runic stuff or things that I can do that I could maybe using some of my tools? See if I can't start etching that in the cage that she's in as well.
As in like an anti-magic field?
Yeah, just maybe not like anti-magic because that's like a high-level spell. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say, I was
have
like, you could cast anti-magic field if you like.
I mean, I could, but I don't have the spell on me.
No, that's okay. Yeah, do you want to make me an Arcana check, please?
You can
Lockie.
talk to Arvel as well. Maybe he has some ideas.
Oh, that's an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could just
15.
for now keep her hands apart and.
Lockie, as you sort of are inspecting her a little bit closer, and looking over the manacles and looking for basically ways that you could prevent her doing certain things. Yeah, she does have a number of symbols tattooed across her chest, a number of symbols that you don't recognize. They do look vaguely familiar, like you've seen them somewhere before, now that you take a bit more time to examine them, but it's not a language you speak. It doesn't immediately come to you. In terms of creating some sort of runic counterspell, you don't really understand what these runes are even depicting to know how to act against it. So like, for example, if you knew that it was spelling out fire, maybe you could try and like change it to like ice, or have like an ice symbol cast somewhere else. Just try and muck up the magic a little bit, but you've got no idea what these runes are saying, and you don't really have a starting point to go from. But if you wanted to have a guess and try and just carve in some general like magic suppression symbols, so basically like using the arcane alphabet to carve in suppress magic on her manacles, you absolutely can do that if you would like to.
Ooh, could I try something a little bit ley-liney?
I'd like to pull out my dagger and carve it into her face. Yeah, you can do that.
Like saying like the weave. Is there any
Yes.
like runes I could do that would like maybe not disrupt because it's a bit much, but sort of scatter the weave so it's a little bit harder to pull it together?
Lockie, I reckon if you pulled into your artificer supplies and you had a bit of a play around and spend a bit of time on this, yeah, you could potentially try and put something in place to shield her from accessing magic as strongly, because you do know there are some metals that can block magic. There are some ways that you can disrupt it and block it. So yeah, if you want to spend this next little bit trying to play around with that and see what you can come up with, absolutely you can do that. I'll get you to roll another Arcana check for me to see how successful you are. I would say you can do Arcana, or if you want to roll with your tool proficiency with your Artificer supplies, you can do that as well.
Can I
Your
add
choice.
that onto the roll? Can I add that onto an Arcana roll, or would I make that a different roll?
It'd be a
Different
proficiency.
roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a different roll. Okay, can I do the Arcana then and add Flash of Genius?
You can do that. Absolutely, of course you can. That's what Flash of Genius is for.
That's
Do you have any left?
Well, as of
Whoa,
long
nice.
rest, as a long
You
rest.
might not even need to.
No.
25.
I think I'll do it anyway. Just
Yeah,
for
go.
fun.
Oh my god,
Go for
do
it.
it.
Good idea.
Yeah.
30.
Is that 29?
Oh yeah, you guys have all had a long rest. Sorry. So
Ooh.
I
No, I
didn't
think
officially
I
announce it,
figured.
but if you haven't taken the benefits of the long rest, apologies. You should have taken the long
I
rest.
did not.
My bad.
Yes, and I
literally
so
just
yes,
did it.
that's a 29 then.
29 with Flash of Genius.
Damn.
Huge.
Lockie, you begin pulling out strips of electrum, this electrum wire that you've been carrying around in your artificer supplies, and begin tying it between. So you basically make like a cage around her shoulders and her chest, and connect it to these shackles.
Whoa.
She's now covered in this electrum wire that is, in your estimation, probably will be quite disruptive to her magic.
Pretty metal.
Might have some strange effects on her magic. If she was to try and cast anything, but she doesn't have her arcane focus, so You're not sure if this is a bit of overkill.
Yeah, that's still in my
Yeah,
backpack.
of course, but still.
Yeah, no.
I learned this trick from my good friend Farry Day.
Farry Day. Yeah. A gnome artificer. Very famous for use with copper. Yeah. Back with the plot. Yervith and Lockie... No, sorry, Lockie, you're gone. Yervith, Mira, and Jin. Back on the deck of the ship, Leosin sort of turns towards you as Lockie heads below deck, goes, right, pleasure to meet you. You look like you're part of an expedition force of some sort. Is that the... Sort of leans forward, Yervith, and goes, Oxenfurt Historical Society, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness,
I'm sort of...
You're there in the background going like...
I'm in the background going like, trying to like, just going that like, just like,
Too
to stop
late.
him. Just like, oh.
I sort of like, I look down and I look very forlorn. Like, I'm just like, yes.
Oh, by Bahamut, I'm so sorry. You're from the Force, the group that went missing, aren't you? I'm really sorry. That was uncharacteristically brusque of me. My apologies. It's a pleasure to meet you. Leosin Erlenthar. I'm sorry, not my best introduction. Can we start again?
Of course. I look up a little bit and I go, yeah.
Yervith,
Nice.
welcome aboard. I assume Mira's given you the business card and contract to sign?
Yes, I believe so. And I like rummage through my pockets that I haven't looked at for a number of sessions and pull out the business card.
Mira hasn't specifically... Have you actually given him a business card? I'd say you've had a chance to slip one in his pack, though.
I think we met him.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
At the end of the session, you just went like, here you go.
Yeah, she had about 200 of those made up, so she's been looking for excuses to hand them out. Look, welcome aboard. If you're joining the Tempest Adventuring Guild, I have to say, pretty loose group here. Not too many rules you need to be too worried about, but we look out for each other. Rule number one, and we try our best to help where we can.
Well, that's good to hear. I will have business to attend to when we get back to Oxenfurt. When we do, there'll be certain people there that will need to know what happened here. But until then, I feel like I am in good company here. It's a pleasure to
Absolutely.
make your acquaintance.
We've been filling up the airship quite quickly. We're running out of bunks. What with Barry being brought on board, that child that you recruited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about him. I didn't.
Barry, what was his name? Barry Potted or something?
Barry
Trotter.
Trotter.
Barry Trotter.
Barry Trotter,
Barry
yeah.
Trotter.
Well,
He's my sorcerer's apprentice.
I'm sure I'll meet them all in due course.
There's a reason why we don't let chat name lots and lots of NPCs anymore. I made the points much more expensive. So it's much more expensive to name NPCs now if you're a member of the chat.
Yeah. So, how'd you go? I'm assuming that one of those was Varum. Who was the other one?
It's an old friend of mine. And
Right.
she drops form.
I'm not going to get
friend
used to
is a
that.
loose term.
Right.
Mira, as you look at Lyra, the snake scales have almost gone. There's just a few patches left.
That's good.
Right. Okay. Great.
Well, among other things.
We might organise a reunion, Lyra, don't you think?
I think that's an excellent idea. I've got 600 years of catching up on to do.
I just need to know our heading before we get too bogged down in details. Are we heading back to Oxenfurt? Are we moving on somewhere else? What's the plan?
I think we're going to check out the wreck.
Oh, yeah, the wreck of the skyship. I did a flyover a day or two ago. I think there's a safe space that I can dock up and you guys can climb on down.
Yeah.
Just wanted to warn you, it is crawling with goblins.
Goblins, you say?
Yeah. Strange, too. Lots of piercings, lots of mud painted on them. It's better if you see it. I don't know.
Have I seen
maybe.
goblins in the... No, okay.
No.
It strikes me as odd.
Yeah, they were... So when I went there, we flew the ship over. They saw us, obviously. We're a fucking great skyship. And they started chanting in a circle. And then they lit one of their members on fire.
and wafted the smoke towards the ship.
Oh, that's
Yeah. So,
that doesn't sound
I haven't.
promising.
No, I haven't headed back since. Obviously, I've tried to sort of keep my distance from them. They freaked me out, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because the
Fair enough.
smell of burning goblin is not a smell I really would wish upon anybody else. It's sort of one of those things that you try once, and then it haunts you for the rest of your life. I am. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of those things.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I had to keep Barry's eyes covered. We can't have a child see that.
Well,
I just, between you and I, he asked what the delicious smell was. I mean, it's a bit of a worry.
That's
Perhaps it's a delicacy where he's from.
What, from Borsky Bridge, the town we were just in? Fucking open, aren't you?
burnt goblin. What?
I've survived in the jungle.
Who is this
On the
Barry?
edge of the jungle.
I must meet him. Such a weird.
Oh no. Well, maybe. No, we need to be trained up first. We'll just. I'll speak to Barry.
So, you said you wanted to interrogate one of the prisoners. Do you want to do it on the top deck
I-
or down in the holding cell? Are we keeping them separate? Are they allowed to hear what the other one's saying? What's the go?
Oh, Varum it no longer has a brain, I don't
Yes.
think.
He won't be
There was
able
an
to.
incident in
Right.
regarding to a mind-altering pool more than once. I had no intention of doing what I accidentally did. I mean, I was in a different room entirely. I didn't
Didn't,
mean to make him insane.
Didn't we come here for information from him? Wasn't the plan to...
We did, yes.
Right,
But there's-
okay.
No, he would be standing in the crazy pool.
I might have a look at him and see if there's anything to be done.
Yes. Do you have any
Okay.
allies in Oxenfurt that might be able to assist?
Wow, we have a whole guild's worth of... that's where our hall is located, where...
We do actually have a guild, Yervith. I promise we do.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't doubt that for a second.
Yeah.
The airship is quite convincing.
You've probably heard of the Night Hall, Yervith, the old manor house, just down from the adventuring league.
Oh, yes.
We've actually we've been granted that. Well, I say we. These guys were granted that as use of their guild hall by Governor Nighthill.
Impressive. I haven't been to Oxenfurt in quite some time, but that's rather impressive.
They're very pleased with themselves. So,
Little snub.
actually, I haven't
Oxenfurt
seen
or-
it either.
Oh, you haven't seen?
So that could be not the night hall per se.
Right,
not
sorry,
what it-
Jin. I keep
Maybe
forgetting.
what it was, but
Might not be a bad place
interesting to see.
to regroup potentially after we.
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
we've got the airship where our travel is pretty much opened up. I mean, wherever we
Well-
want to go, we can go fairly quickly now. So,
I
see no
think
harm in-
I think Lockie was pretty interested in checking out that airship. Room.
crashed airship. Look, I can
Yeah,
take us over,
does.
but I'm gonna need some sort of nose plugs. We'll need to get Lockie to fashion something in case they start sacrificing villagers to us again.
Ugh.
well, I can always potentially scare them with a major illusion of an ancient dragon or something to send them scuttering into the jungle. If we
Yeah,
really need
look.
to have a
Well,
look at this.
They might
Sounds
sacrifice
like a-
even more, Jin.
Well,
shit, he's
that is
right,
the
that's a
thing.
good
I don't
point.
actually know what they worship.
They might sacrifice 2 or 3 of them. Do you really
I
want
could-
that smell in your
I
nostrils?
could create a giant goblin that they could revere as their god.
Gobbo in the sky, I like it.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm making myself clear enough. They might sacrifice more, Jin.
We can have our own army potentially.
I feel like we're getting a bit off track.
I
yes,
think we are.
yes.
Shall I take us via the airship then? Just so
I think so.
you can have a look,
I
make
think
up
we
your own
need
mind.
I think we need Lockie up here. We need to chat with him. He was the
Yes.
one most interested in this airship.
Well, should we head
and he
below
might
if
be
Lockie's
dissuaded or
down
not.
there?
Maybe we'll
playing
go
around with the
below and
prisoners.
have a look and see the prisoners
We
as
could-
well. Yeah.
Collect Lockie and see Alaram at the same time, and maybe
Yes.
try and get some of the information we were going to get out of Aram.
Yeah, I think the more
See if
people who
maybe
are,
she
are
knows.
around, I think the more people who are around that conversation, the better. No offense, Lyra, and you look much better, but I would rather just
Very
be there.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
nah, that's fair.
Your
That's fair.
support, you
If
know?
Lyra wasn't going to be there, I was. So
Okay,
I can-
in that case, I definitely want to be there.
Do you want to just have everyone on deck? We can
Yeah.
bring them up here. Everyone can be there. We can all give a show of
That sounds good.
force. What do you
Sure.
think?
yeah, good. Sounds
Oh,
good
If
to
they
me.
do
This will
anything
have
silly,
eyes.
we can drop them off the edge.
Yeah, I like it. I'll just get Grisha to pick him up and throw him overboard.
Next.
Yeah.
I've been threatening Barry with that when he refuses to do his chores. It's working really well. Do you know fear's a powerful motivator?
Oh yeah.
Leosin, I don't think that is entirely moral.
Yeah,
I
give us
like
an insight check.
Leosin.
Give us an insight check.
I like the cut of your jib.
Oh no.
Mira,
Oh,
Leosin's being
that's
100% serious. There's no, he's not joking. He is serious boy right now. With a 6. Anyone else who isn't rolling insight? Leosin's clearly kidding.
No.
Mira,
Yes.
I'm joking, right? You do know that.
Oh, I just, we haven't had a child before on this ship. So, I don't know.
Yep.
That's on me.
I do,
Yeah, that's
but
on
I do
me.
know how children work.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, why did you bring a child on board ship then? You
That's
don't
a
know.
question, Mira. I didn't know
For
this
podcast
about
listeners, Mira stopped being there for a second, and Claire, in full honesty, shook her head and whispered, "I don't know," which just about sums up that entire session that we had when you recruited this child.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know. We just did because
Well,
we
yeah.
could.
Your time.
That was a brief
I do
moment where Claire
remember
broke character.
He was an asshole uncle from what I remember.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
also grappled with the idea, because you guys are just going to take him just
Yep.
there and then,
Yeah,
and I
we'll
was
take
just
him
like,
there.
wait a sec.
We
We
should
have the
probably
very
adopt
interesting dilemma
it was a concerning
of the fact
session.
that we're
It was.
It was.
abducting this kid.
It's borderline problematic, but
Yeah,
we
borderline.
We sorted it out.
There's towing the line, and then there's abducting children.
Instead, he just sold him to us, which is
Yeah.
better.
Instead, they bought the child, Matt, so it's
Oh.
okay.
That's a lot better.
That's totally fine. Yeah.
There.
Oh, dear me.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
Anyway.
yeah, moving on.
Just a bit of meta knowledge. If anyone tries to move the druid out of the cage, Lockie's not going to want to.
She's not tied to the cage. You've tied it to her manacles, right, Lockie?
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's
I
not
figured you
a-
kept it on her
Yeah.
rather than in the location. Yeah, I figured that you would keep it attached to her.
Okay. Cool.
Well, I mean, I've got to steer the ship. Excuse me, but I could send down, see if anyone's around, see if I can find maybe Corvin
We can
up in
handle
Crow's
it.
Nest.
I think we can handle it.
Oh, I was just going to
We
say
got
send
her all
Corvin
laid
down
out.
to tell Lockie to bring everyone up on deck. That way you don't have to head below deck for no reason.
Yeah, that works too.
Aye.
Corvin! Corvin! After a few seconds, a raven-like figure descends from up on the top deck. For Yervith's benefit, this is a kenku.
Ah, cool.
A dark feathered kenku wearing a brown vest, sort of light grey pants, very clever eyes, and a sort of a blue hood tied into the dark vest. As Corvin comes over, goes, "I see we have a new one aboard."
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
You might be Corvin then.
Corvin, then.
Okay.
Corvin, this one is Yervith. Yervith. Yes, that's right, Yervith. Corvin, there are some people below deck. Could you ask Lockie to bring one of those people up? Which one did you want Lockie? Which one do you want Lockie to bring up? The druid.
Alaram, please.
Alaram. Could you, Corvin, this is very important. Repeat what I say. Lockie, please bring Alaram up on deck. Do not remove her manacles. You got that? Corvin nods. I've got that. Quicker than butter and silver. And then Corvin sort of scuttles back and disappears below deck. After a few moments, Lockie, Corvin comes up to you and goes, "Bring Alaram up on deck. Keep her manacled." In Leosin's voice.
Oh, hello, our flighted friend. Yes, I will do so. And he's gonna put his armor back on, so he has some strength, and then.
Hello there.
Hello there. Oh,
Hello there. Ah,
oh, so good to meet someone with manners. Would you like to know how it is I've manacled her? And he's gonna give him a full rundown. So when he comes back up on deck, he's still be like, and then what it does is it goes, because you can, if you think of it as a bunch of strings, right? So what I've done is, because the way that it moves through the artist, it moves through as a wave, not as a particle, and it splits. And it creates
Leosin comes and
stack.
places his hand over your audio outlet. Lockie goes, Lockie, hey, I'm gonna let go now. Can we pick this up later?
I picked her up right now. See?
Fantastic, thanks, Lockie. Right, who's this character? Looks shady as all hell. Why is she covered in scales?
Well, she's Lyra's old friend and also the Queen of the Wanty.
Right. Okay. So you captured the Queen of the Snake People.
Yes.
Do we need to be moving this ship a bit faster away
Yes.
from this island?
Probably. Yes.
Likely.
Right. I'm just going to let Arvel know and see if we can get the engines operating. Did you want Barry on deck for this?
No.
Best
I
not.
don't think a child should be present for this.
There's going to be some harsh language involved with this conversation.
Oh yes.
Barry's been on board a
can't
skyship
wait.
for 4 days now. I guarantee there are no worse words that Grisha has not said in front of him.
I'm talking about descriptions, vivid descriptions.
Well,
but by all means, if you think Barry would like to
Might be a
involved.
good learning experience for the young lad.
I can
I
bring
would
him up on deck.
advise against it still. Probably not good for a child to hear
well.
potentially what's going to transpire.
Done.
Taste of reality, Jin.
Yes, but if you're building a structure and you put the base of the structure on something, that's going to affect the rest of the structure, right? And I believe humanoid development is something similar.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, you are correct there, Lockie.
Ah, well, then perhaps we should omit this from his
Development.
From
Excuse
his
me.
memory slate.
I'll keep the little shit polishing tables downstairs.
Good.
Well, that works too.
Right. She's looking at Lyra quite aggressively. Lyra's looking at her quite aggressively. This is Lyra's friend. He does in quotation marks.
Now,
Yes.
I don't need to remind you all that there is something arcane about those tattoos. We should all be ready to act in case she tries anything shifty.
Do any of us recognize the language? Do I just Mira recognize
Yeah,
it?
now that we're getting a better look at her.
Only
Yeah.
one person amongst you recognizes the symbols.
Okay.
Lyra. It's druidic.
Yeah.
Aha. Figured.
But it doesn't spell out something that makes sense to you. It's a series of symbols depicting all sorts of elemental and natural things. There's a symbol for the stars, the symbol for the moon, the symbol for the sky, the symbol for the earth, and a strange symbol for something strange that you've not really seen for a very long time. Could I get you to please roll me an Arcana or Nature check, please?
I don't even find nature on my spell. Oh, there. I can't know it is.
Alrighty, Arcana 13. It's a symbol for push. The concept of pushing something, moving it away. Symbol of, yeah, pushing something further away. But the context of it implies pushing something, pushing something away. That's what that implies. And
It's
then,
probably
the
not
symbol.
good to do this on top deck then.
Oh, yeah.
Still good. I can fly. I still got a wild shape. If anyone falls off, I'll catch them.
I have faith in
Alaram, you can't speak right now, but you can listen. It's been a long time, my friend. You betrayed the entirety of our people. You got them all stuck as these Yuan Ti. You killed a countless number of Kori. I can't even fathom to understand why. And I want to ask you, but I also don't trust you enough to take off the gag.
Can you?
Alaram shrugs.
She mental links, and she says, if you wish to explain yourself, this is your one chance.
Lyra, I will answer any questions you want answered, but only out loud.
Oh.
Lyra translates that to the rest of the group. She'll speak, but only out loud.
Would you like to do the honors then, Lyra? Remove the gag.
Yervith, have your sword ready.
Oh, don't worry. Knock
It's
an arrow
always
back.
ready.
Knock an arrow back.
So,
Also,
I'm going to ready a counter spell.
Oh,
Also,
fantastic.
I am double underhooks under her so her torso's in front of me facing Lyra, and I'm double underhooks under her arms like this.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Nice.
Mira, are you readying anything?
Yeah, I was also going to ready counterspell.
Oh, perfect. No,
Hey,
then
look,
both of you
two
can ready
doesn't
counterspell.
hurt.
No, you
I
can
was
both
gonna-
ready counterspell.
I was going to ready an action to shoot.
Perfect.
That's all I got.
Lyra, I pass over to you.
Munches
That's better. She starts spitting out some of the fragments of cloth and fibre.
Well, you've taken me from my home and my people. What is it you want to know, Lyra?
Why did you sell out the entirety of our people for something of a semblance of power?
You have no idea what it was like, child. The gods fighting on this earth. Nations torn apart by their mere whims. It was chaos. Our kind was threatened with extinction. We had to choose power to survive.
So you elected to choose power over the balance that has kept our people safe for millennia.
Our forests burned, all because one of the betrayer gods fell slightly to the left when struck. One
Such is the nature.
god. There is
This
no
is
natural
foolish.
order in that.
Natural order has never existed. For the entirety of the time that we have been druids, and before us, and before our forefathers, balance was an illusion. It's something that never existed. The druids maintained to help others and try and, just get on with things, get on with life, with being as we are. Like, that is literally our entire thing. And you've somehow convinced everybody to abandon that, to leave the balance in seeking of power.
You said it yourself. There is no balance. You understand. It was all a lie. There is no rhyme or reason to this. All you can do is try to survive. The one thing of our teachings that we carry with us. Survival at all costs. And this cost, while steep, was essential for our survival.
Tiamat coming back, resurrecting Tiamat and allowing them.
We have no interest in Tiamat bringing her back.
Then why are you siding with the cultists?
My poor sweet Lyra. It was all a ruse. We were using them. We wanted the masks. Why do you think we lured Varum here?
The one without a mask.
The one who knows where they all are.
Oh.
Or did
Well, I mean-
before your interference.
I was gonna say, not anymore.
Yes, thank you for that. That was probably the most damaging thing you could have done to us. That and kidnapping me.
Perhaps I drop you both off the edge of the ship, and the most damaging thing possible is...
Perhaps you should.
You could fly, can't you?
You have taken my focus, removed my component pouch, shackled me. This one, she gestures with her head to Lockie behind her, has me locked in a Heimlich. and has strapped wires to my body. I think it's safe to say you have taken every precaution you can think of to stop me using magic.
Well, guys, and she's talking to the others at the moment, I don't have much more to say to Elram. I mean, they're lost. They are no longer the person I once knew.
I'll pipe up. Well, let's not throw her over the edge. The Harpers could find out a lot of things potentially from her.
Ah, the Harpers. I imagine they're a group with lots of pointy things in a dark dungeon.
I just sort of shrug. I guess you'll find out.
Oh, I am terrified.
As terrified as your other half was as they left your body.
It wasn't as painful as you'd think.
For
But
you.
that's okay. You'll understand soon.
I'll never understand.
No? Come close. I'll tell you everything. Just how it was.
Don't get near her, Lyra.
She stands her ground. She's not moving closer.
Well,
She's just staring.
I'm sure there's more questions you wanted to ask me. Maybe not you, Lyra, but you, Dragonborn.
She looks towards you, Mira.
Surely you know your place in all of this by now, or have you not quite figured that out?
Well, I've just had nothing to do with this. No matter what anyone, dead or alive, says.
You've reclaimed the amulet, I see.
Yes, well, that's a question I had, if you don't mind, Lyra. What were you doing in the Tomb of Diderus? That seems like a very unsettling alliance.
We have no alliance with Diderus. We use him, his knowledge. Unfortunately, the price of his pool has grown steep these long years. To use it now requires sacrifice of many souls to answer but a single simple question. And Diderus himself cannot be trusted. Any who speak to him are corrupted. They are unable to be trusted. Through no fault of their own, but Diderus has a way of influencing people. I hope you didn't spend too long chatting with him.
Long enough.
Indeed. You might want to take yourselves and your airship to the north. Find some rocky island and live out the rest of your days. Every action and inaction you take from this point on will only cause pain for everyone around you. That is all Diderus wants. It's all he cares about. Pain and chaos. He is entropy personified.
There's the person that turned all the druids into Yuan-Ti.
Who do you think told us how to survive, Lyra?
There you go. That answers my question. Why do you want the masks?
The masks? We were trying to unlock draconic forms before the ruin. Lyra was sent to go and investigate the wyverns. I believe, through, unfortunately, conversations with Diderus, what we've gleaned from his pool, we could use the masks to unlock draconic forms for our people. Give us the ability to change once again, this time take on forms of real power.
I'm sorry, Lyra, but this is pathetic.
It is. Yes, I agree.
I feel sorry for you. I do.
Oh dear, don't pity me. You wear Avazandum. I'm more worried about you.
Nothing to worry about. I have a plan, and I have a list of things I need to do.
I would say, Mira, that's the first time you've heard that word, Avazandum.
Oh, really? I thought
No, I've called it that on your thing so that it's there, but you've not heard that word before.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Does that ring any bells?
Nope, you've never heard that word before.
No. I think I assumed that she would identify it with the story that we were told.
Oh, I think you know what she's talking about because that's what she was just talking about before. But that's the first time you heard it called by a name.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, seem to know a lot, but as you said, your knowledge is corrupted. My understanding is corrupted. I don't trust myself or anyone else.
My knowledge is not corrupted. Merely my actions. Diderus works towards his own ends, and unfortunately, to get what I want, I have to give him what he wants. I'm sure all of this was in his plan. Getting me up on the deck of this ship, shackled and bound and covered in electrum wires. I'm sure he's enjoying himself quite heartily in his tomb right now. Well, if that's all you have, I think I'd like to be taken back to my cell now, if it's not too much of a bother.
Look at Lyra.
I mean, to be honest, guys. I mean, no, the Harpers would want her, wouldn't they? She's too dangerous to be left alive. You all know that, right?
Oh, yes.
I mean, by
far
her
too
own
dangerous.
admission.
Yes, oh, far too dangerous. Yes. You should throw me overboard. It would be the smart thing to do.
No. We can't give her what she wants. She will suffer. We cannot give her the sweet release of death.
Lyra, do you by chance have your crystal on hand?
It broke, Lockie.
Yep.
Oh, that's
You-
right.
when
I dropped it. Sorry.
Look, if you could probably still have a shard or two on you. Yeah, I'd say that if Lockie you might have bent down and picked up one or two of the shards. I mean, it would have been so part of your core programming to always be carrying that crystal. I'd say that subconsciously you could have bent down and picked up one or two shards of it. Yeah.
Is there any way we could stick her inside this shard?
Oh.
You have no idea.
I have no idea. I'm asking my
You
friends.
spent 600 years trying to get someone out of it. You've got no idea how it. And you let her out by accident.
Yeah.
You don't know how it works.
By dropping it.
I don't
no
have
idea.
any spells for
That's
that.
Okay. Actually, if I have a couple of shards.
Leosin steps forward as you guys sort of have a natural lull.
I have a question. Alaram, was it?
Yes, dear. Alaram.
I was wondering, how long have you been enacting this plan to get the masks? And if you were trying to get the information from Barum, did you find out any locations? Do you know where they are?
Oh, I know where one of them is, yes. We were able to get that much from him before his mind was broken into 1,000,000 pieces.
And?
You'll have to travel far to the north, where the Drakhorn was sounded. The White Mask was there not too long ago, in the hands of an ambitious woman, planning on rising through the ranks. It was she who organized the theft of the mask from Varum.
We know who that is.
Lucky doesn't.
And is telling us all this willingly part of the plan? Or have you given up? Or do you just so easily believe in fate?
I don't believe in fate, but I do fear Diderus and his influence, as you should too if you were wise. No. I don't think I need to tell you what my plan is right now. I don't think you've earned it.
Was it part of your plan to murder my friends in cold blood?
No. They were in our territory trespassing. Members of the cult directed our forces towards them. It was nothing personal. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. For what it's worth, I am sorry. I don't crave death and killing.
Your actions speak otherwise, but sure.
My actions? If I had it my way, the cult would never have been allowed to enter the city, nor give my soldiers instructions. No, it was not my order that had your friends killed. If I had been consulted, I would have had the usual. Poison darts from afar to knock them unconscious, strip them naked, tie them to a tree at the edge of the forest. That's what we used to do to the locals when they wandered too close. Make them think of ghosts hiding in the jungles. If you kill people, more simply come to investigate the deaths. Far more efficient to send them back looking foolish.
You're saying my friends died because of the dragon cult?
I'm saying that if I'd been consulted, or even asked, I might have chosen a different path. I would not have ordered my men to just kill them on sight.
Some leader you are.
Can I inside check that?
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can insight check that. Yeah, absolutely. First insight check of this entire NPC dialogue. 26. Yervith. Yeah. She's not lying, which is probably the most surprising thing. There is her body language is giving off a sense of resignation. She seems regretful, and what she was saying about how they normally deal with intruders makes logical sense, right? If you keep killing people in a mysterious jungle where there's rumors of treasure, you're going to get more people coming to investigate, which they don't want. It makes sense. Whereas the cults only want to be there for a short time to find what they need from the Tomb of Diderus. They don't care what bodies they leave behind. They don't care about.
There is a sudden drop in my anger and my hatred has been so centered around the 1T, and suddenly I'm really confused. This conflict just rushes in me, and I'm my eyes sort of go a little bit wide, and I sort of piece together, and I just say, of course. I need to take a minute. Just step away a little bit and sort of let that register a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. She sort of looks around, looking over towards you this time, Jin, sort of noticing you for the first time and going,
Don't think I know your face. Who are you?
I'll probably be a Lyra at the moment as well.
Yeah.
I'll just sort of do a graceful bow. And I'll be like, yes, well, let's just keep it that way, shall we? You definitely have one dripping with malice.
Oh, yes. I'm such a threat to you. The more I know, the more I can twist your mind and force you to act in evil ways. Yes, that's what I do. Yes.
Quite. I'm sure that is what it is.
Yes, my dear?
The souls that were lost.
Yes.
Is there any way to get them back? Reunite the people?
I'm sorry, my dear. I do not know if there is a way. I wish I knew.
Did you look?
Yes. It was one of the first things we asked the pool. 6 of us were required to sacrifice to find the answer. And the answer was confusing.
Do you remember the wording?
Yes. I tattooed it across my chest.
She leans back. The druidic tattoos are there.
Yes. I still held on to hope that one day I might decipher it.
Can Lyra read it, or is it just random symbols and stuff?
It's the same symbols I described before. Sun, stars, moon, earth, and then push.
So I'm assuming that you've understood the meaning of the standard symbols, but I don't understand the meaning of the last one.
No.
Something about reunification, and then
I never was able to decipher just what it meant. I tried. We tried a number of experiments. All were met with failure.
I think I've asked all I have to ask. You guys?
But you know what the other symbols mean? Sun, stars, moon.
They're all the circles, Lockie.
Of course.
Yes, we figured that. But push. Never quite figure out what it meant.
Push can be to reject.
Indeed, can also be to push together.
Unite.
Can I ask, if you really haven't given up hope, what would you tell Lyra to do? She is the best of you now. If you have any last hope.
Mira, I would like a persuasion check from you, please.
Whoa. Huge.
Very nice.
+8.
You can do it.
20.
I believe.
Oh, nice.
Lyra is not the best of us now. She was always the best of us. Why do you think we sent her to go investigate the wyverns? We were hoping she would be the first to discover the draconic forms. But that plan seems to have fallen awry as well. I can't blame Diderus for that one. It was long before I met him. No, there is but one hope for me, and but one hope for my goals. And I'm sorry, Lyra. This is going to hurt quite a bit.
And with that, yep.
And I was just going to ask, what is?
With that, the tattoo on her chest begins glowing bright blue. Mira, you counterspell. Mira, as you counterspell, the pushback. Oh, actually, what level are you casting it? That's the most important thing I need to know. And Jin, what counterspell level were you planning on as well? You were holding a counterspell level.
4.
4th level for Mira, Jin?
I can only do level 3 at the moment.
Did you want to do a level 3 counterspell as well, or did you want to leave it to...
Fuck it, let's add to it. It might help.
Yeah, you can both give a go at it, absolutely. Mira, I need you to make a spellcasting ability check. Jin, I need you to make a spellcasting ability check for me as well. Lockie, as they go to do this, the suggestion spell that you previously failed kicks into gear. You want to disrupt Mira's magic.
Oh, shit.
Oh, okay. I already know how.
Oh, no.
So what happens is, as she fires up to
Actually, no. Sorry. Sorry. I think I know what you're gonna do. I'll let you do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I know what you're gonna do.
Instead of throwing my flash of genius on Mira, I'll throw it on her.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Because you're touching her as well. Jin, could I get your
So
spellcasting check as well?
way.
Oh, no.
4. Get a 7.
No. There's Jin.
Not Jin, sorry.
As this pulse of blue energy washes out, the electrum cables that you have tied to her begin sparking and cracking. Lockie, you are flung backwards up against the side of the ship and with a crash are thrown to the ground. As Alaram begins rising into the air, blue lightning crackling off her. I need everybody on the deck of the ship to make me dexterity saving throws, please.
Good thing we didn't bring up Barry. Okay.
A little face just pops up from the stairwell. Oh, Lockie, nice, fantastic. Lockie, you're not going to take any damage. Mira 17, Lyra 11.
Oh, no.
You were the one who really needed to roll high, Lyra.
Oh.
Look, it digs into the deck.
She can fly, though. She can fly.
Yeah, that's very true. Yervith, I still need one. Oh, no, 24 from you. And Jin 23. Yeah, you guys are fine. Okay. Lyra, you're the only one who takes damage from this, which is somewhat appropriate. As the blue bolts of energy begin crackling across the ship, all of you throw yourselves sideways. Leosin takes a little blast off the side of his shoulder, and you watch as the skin darkens and blackens as he looks and goes, What? and he starts like trying to claw at his arm as his skin begins turning black where the lightning bolt has hit him. One of the lightning blasts strikes Lyra in the chest, and you watch as this image, this form, this almost translucent copy of Lyra gets pulled forwards out of the body. And as it does so, her hair and form begin to shift. With a cry, Alaram begins turning to dust as the symbols on her chest burn her for 47 points of necrotic damage.
Whoa!
She screams in agony, and then
Can I use a
everything
reaction
goes-
healing word?
Yeah.
Would that actually help?
healing word on...
Alaram.
Yeah, you can use a reaction healing word on Alaram. Of course you can. It's
that
not really a
even do
reaction, is it? It's more of a... But I'd say that as you
Oh,
do
no,
your,
it's not a reaction.
your
but-
save, I would allow you to do a healing word on Alaram, yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know how much health she has. But it's the only thing that can reach her. I'm going to do another 3rd level spell and do it at 3d4 plus 4.
Yeah, you can do that, absolutely.
Look, I'm probably wasting it, but
Actually, I better roll. I
actually
better roll
saves
this
her.
too
It's
as
worth a
the
shot.
as the wild magic is active. I better roll this.
it's 8 plus
Wild magic.
4, 12
Oh, no.
damage.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Sorry, 12
12
HP
healing?
she gets back.
12 healing.
12 healing.
12 healing. You watch. So as she's turning to dust, you throw out this healing energy and try and save her. There's a moment where the necrotic energy burning across her sort of stops and pauses for a moment as this radiant energy is keeping her alive in this space. She looks towards you and goes,
You can only keep this going for a few seconds. Let me die.
as your healing is just keeping her on the edge of life as the
Okay.
ash sort of stops. She's
As that
lost her
keeps it
arms
going-
and legs, just her torso and head remain.
Oh.
Before you go too much
Can
further,
I-
yeah.
Okay.
Before you
gonna
go too much
say,
further,
with
because
my-
Lyra,
Yeah,
we're going to
okay.
discuss what happens with Lyra as
Yeah,
well. 'cause I
what's
haven't finished
happening?
describing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lyra's body falls prone onto the deck of the ship, her cloak sort of coming up over her head, and you watch as this ghostly version of Lyra is held in place, eyes closed, hands sort of across the chest in a very like burial style formation, and the light begins to compact until she warps into a single mote of light that then disappears, leaving
What?
the prone body on the deck of the ship. Jin, what did you want to do? In fact, all of you have a chance to do
I think
something.
I don't think personally I would notice Lyra because I'm so transfixed on the Alaran.
How do we stop it? Tell it, like, I'll look at Alaram and look
Yeah.
at Lyra and be like, reverse it. This is wrong. You know it's wrong.
This
Why would you do
is
this?
what needs to happen.
You've
Sean.
killed her.
As I notice Lyra,
Yeah.
would I know that what just happened to her is magic? Like in
Oh,
nature?
yeah.
Oh,
I'd
no.
say it's
So,
fairly.
Could I attempt? I just want to know. I know it's
Yeah.
a silly question to ask, but can I actually attempt to dispel magic on Lyra?
Yeah, you can cast a spell magic on Lyra.
Okay. I'm going to. No, it's too much. I can't bardic inspiration myself.
Mm.
Oh, that's. How would you do this? Owen? Can I bardic inspiration myself with a bonus action and main
Can I-
action dispel magic?
Yeah.
I know I've done
I'll
a
allow
lot of
it.
things.
You can
but-
each take actions and bonus actions. I'll allow it.
Before that happens, though, can
Yeah.
we kind of, because we're not quite sure what's going on here. We might be, if you dispel it, it might.
Yeah.
I think if I dispel it though, it might help her regain it back. Though it's really,
Lockie,
it's 'cause I
Well,
think-
that's a call that you would
Yeah,
have to make.
yeah,
as
it's worth a
Jen,
shot.
it's really hard to say. Snap
Lockie,
decisions.
you were the closest to Lyra before you were thrown back. You notice her hair has gone this very silvery white color. As her face is sort of down on the deck of the ship, her clothes up around her, her hair sprawled out, has changed from this red to this silvery white color. Shana,
Okay.
you awaken to find yourself in complete control.
Oh.
Oh,
Lyra's not there. You are in control.
I would probably still dispel magic over me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I know. I know. I've burnt through.
No,
so
you
many
definitely get a
third
chance.
level
No, you
spells,
definitely, no, absolutely.
But
Go
I
go
think
for
it makes sense.
Yeah. Yervith, did you want to do anything, or are you just standing there going? Mouth open, like, what the fuck?
I mean, I would be a bit like that, but I also sort of wanted to question the
Yeah. What do you want to say to
What have
Alaran?
you done? Why have you killed her?
I haven't killed her. I've freed her.
As Jin takes his energy, as basically Jin breaks the concentration on the healing word and moves over to dispel magic on Lyra, the ash begins moving back up as she collapses to the deck, dissolving into ash. She goes,
Finally, I am reunited.
it's the last part of her, just turns to ash.
Bitch.
And yeah.
Add my half my proficiency bonus to that roll.
Yes.
For Jack of all trades.
Yep.
It's +3. Do you round up or down?
For dispel magic, do you get to add Jack of all trades to spellcasting?
I get to add it to any ability check.
It's not an ability check though. It's just doing dispel magic.
Have a look. For each spell, make an ability check using a spellcasting ability.
Yeah, it would be an ability check then. It is. Just so
I've actually looked it up
I stand
online.
corrected. I stand corrected.
Do you round up or down for proficiency? Like, because
Always round down. We always round down.
Alright, so
for
it
everything
adds
to make
up
life
one,
simple.
so it makes it 16.
Yeah. As you push forward this
probably
pulse of
won't work.
magic, there is definitely this pulse of magic over Shana, and you do feel Shana this wave of pushing forcing magic and compressing it, preventing it from acting. But it's still you're here. You're in control.
I can't hear her. It's quiet. I don't. Where is she gone? What did you guys do?
She's
As
just
Shana lifts her head, would you like to describe the changes that have occurred to you now, Ali?
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
as Shana stands up, she's got the hair length is still the same. It's still styled in the same way, but as Owen said, it's now a silvery blue-white blend. Her skin is, well, it's sort of a general pinky beige that's mottled with scales from head to toe. She's wearing either it's her skin or it's scale armor, or who knows? Shana doesn't even know. And as it continues down, it slowly turns into a giant lamia tail. So as she goes to take a step, she realizes she no longer has legs, and then almost face plants. But that manages to catch herself on her coils and is just utterly shell-shocked. She's covered in the weird one thing that has gained since this spell is a lot of gold chains. Gold chains around her neck, around her torso, her arms, her head. It's almost as if she's bound by invisible chains that's wrapping around herself, binding her to nothing.
No longer invisible.
Is Shana corporeal?
Shana is corporeal.
Yeah.
So it
physical
seems
body.
like a physical body.
Oh,
Physical
definitely.
body.
I think.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
yeah.
Where Lyra
Her
was now,
eyes.
Shana is instead.
So there's
And
no
you look
Lyra
at her-
body.
Sorry, Lyra, you go.
And you look into her eyes. One of them is a dark, deep blue, same as the night sky, with dark yellow, snake-like pupils. And then the other is the green, the same green that Lyra used to have, except now it's pale, as if it's like a ghostly apparition of what's used to be there.
No.
And her circlet on the center of her forehead is no longer silver, it's now gold.
Oh my.
And with that, we're going to end tonight's session. I was literally waiting for the end of your description, and I was like, bam, we're going to come back in on that next session.
That's crazy.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm an arsehole.
Oh,
Yeah, consequences.
You're an asshole.
Lockie, I am going to cross off one of the suggestions. You have removed one of those suggestions. It is now gone. Only two left. Only two suggestions left.
Just when we thought we were out and safe, nah, that happened.
Oh man. Yeah, we're going to jump back in on the. I've called this session "Unintended Consequences," and we're going to absolutely stick with that for the name of the episode. And we'll be jumping in to learn more about those unintended consequences next session. But a series of decisions that you made at various points have led to this. So that can sleep. You can sleep easy with that. Well, thank you so much, everybody.
It's a series of fuck ups, not just one.
It's not just one. No. It's a series of fuck ups. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this very tense session. We will be back next Wednesday with more Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Tyranny of Dragons. But this time, Ali won't be playing Lyra. She will be now playing... I don't know. And I will touch up... I'm going to just do a quick variation of Lyra's character art as well to match that for the bottom down near where you are, Ali, so that I can just have the sort of... the elements of it on the screen, and then we've got your new token too, which I'll pull across onto the map.
Also, Ellie's gonna have to redo her intro as well. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ali. I was playing Lyra, but something really funky happened with magic, and now I'm playing Shana. Are you on T Sorcerer? Oh my god. Amazing. Well, we're going to jump back in with that next session. But for tonight, that's it from us. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again next time. Farewell, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Oh, man. I've got to do some writing for next session. Goodbye, everyone.
See ya.
See you later.
Bye.